Are you guys ready? Very good, very good. So welcome back, everyone. So this is a part of Conversations on a Bench that I really, really enjoy. I've never met this individual, so I'm Jamie.
I'm Keith.
Keith.
Becker. I'm from the Salvation Army.
Awesome.
Over on Broad Street.
Very cool. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah. We knew you were out here all night. It was cold, so we had some leftover coffee from the morning coffee program.
Very cool.
We figured we'd bring you by something to warm you up.
Awesome.
That's what we're all about, the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
You know, our founder, William Booth, his mission was to help those that need it. Those that have had a hard time, that are in a situation that they might not have dreamt of that they'd be in. We've kind of all been there, and they're trying. They trying to get out of what they are, and we're here to provide something, whatever it is they need, whether that's food assistance through the food pantries. We feed a community dinner, which is free for everyone on Tuesday nights. Like we said, we just started the coffee program on Wednesdays and Fridays right now. Especially coming into this cold weather, a hot cup of coffee, might warm you up after those really cold nights. I couldn't imagine being out, and as cold as it's going to be. And that's our mission, is to really help those that are in a situation as dire or as less, or just a situation they didn't imagine, right? We all have that. Things happen in our lives out of our control, and it can really get to us. We're human, we're frail, and we want to help you any way we can.
Yeah, certainly appreciate you stepping into relationship with the folks in this community, and appreciate the Salvation Army and their role in this community, all that they've done for this community in so many different ways. I know we have someone that cooks at the mission.
Yeah,
that is
Al. He actually comes before he goes there to help with the coffee program.
Yeah,
so, he's very excited about that.
And he asked me if we could put some signs up for some different fellowship activities, and yes, absolutely. We want to share in those things. We want to share those things with the folks that we serve. And we want to, encourage individuals to attend those types of things. Are you still doing Sunday service over at the Salvation Army?
Sunday service at 11 o'clock a.m. Every morning. Again, Salvation Army. We were founded off of the Wesleyan movement. William Booth decided we need to go to the people, and we need to feed them. We have a few phrases. It's heart to God and hand to man. We have to be serving God's creatures, all of humanity. Whether that's a shake of the hand, how are you doing, or a cup of coffee, or trying to find some way for them to help them through their situation. Not always out of it, right, because circumstances, but through that in a positive way of, look, this is just part of life, and we live in this world that we have created, into, and we have to venture through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in that, like helping a person through the situation, not necessarily always out of it. We certainly can't fix everything, but we certainly can be present with people.
Definitely, and we, way back in the old days, when my father was actually worked for the Salvation Army as a pastor. Both of my parents did, and when they were way back in the day in the 50s, they used to have a thing called soup, soap, and salvation. And we give you a way to clean it up, and we give you something in your stomach, and in the last parts of salvation, and that comes in time sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't, and we don't force that. But we're going to give you a way to, like you said, clean it up, get through what you need to do, and be there for you, and feed you as well, because hunger make a man do crazy things, and things you never thought you would do. And we don't want to get you down there. We want to make sure that you can get out of it. And the big thing I do is I'm the youth program coordinator, and all our programs, actually everything we do is free. We try not to charge. We try to find that. And that comes through all sorts of different avenues. And the biggest one is those red kettles we put out that are actually coming up. You'll be seeing them and hearing those annoying little bells ring. And every dollar, every dime, every penny that goes into those will stay in this community to help this community and help the people that we're, here talking about. And sometimes it allows us to provide different programs, different things, because not everybody needs the same thing. We're all different. Our situations are individual to what our needs are, and we want to help that. Whether that's also like partnering with other missions like yourself, that we work together. It strengthens our ability to come out and help them, and that's what we're here to do. I can't say that enough.
So I want to touch on, you mentioned that you're over sort of the youth programming, and that seems like something that has been relatively recent for at least our local Salvation Army, that they've been delving into that space, which I appreciate. So talk a little bit about that, what that is.
It's funny how it snuck up on me. The major's over there. I started coming back in the area, and I teach martial arts, I teach Taekwondo, and they had a nice, lovely gym over there, and he said, why don't you teach your martial arts here? And I go, okay. And so we started that Thursday nights, and I said, the biggest thing though is I don't want to charge for it, because it's one of those things, it benefits everyone, and the costs are high, for a very specific reason. And so we worked on making it free. From that, we have an archery program. All our instructors are Olympic certified instructors, and our best instructor is actually one of our younger instructors. He's 17 now and about a senior in high school, and he's phenomenal with the kids. And again, that's fully free. And we have a video game center that we set up that's Monday through Friday,
so cool.
3 to 5, and it's just a place they can come play video games, build good relationships in a good atmosphere, not feel like they're going to be bullied, and because you don't know who you're playing with online anymore, you know, and it's very divisive and very depressing sometimes, the comments that happen. I mean, I'm an adult and I'm on it, and I'm shocked at what I hear sometimes. So we kind of not control it, but we keep it safe. And that was really what we wanted to do, is get them in and give them a safe space that they can do what they're passionate about. I know there's a connotation about video games and stuff, and we have other things in there. We have foosball table and cards, and they'll actually break themselves out and do that. And it's fantastic that they realize they need a break from video games, and we don't have to necessarily always tell them that. I'm a big video game nerd, so it worked out well for me. I mean, I still have my old Atari 2600 sitting in my house, so I go back with video games. So being able to relate that passion and just provide a space, like, why not? There's always a question like, can we do this? And I'm like, why not? I'm here at that time, so, but yeah, we.
I feel like I want to bring my son by. He's 7,
bring him by.
He loves the video games, and you're right. Some of those, I worry about him on the online.
Yeah, it
can be unsafe, and
and there's stories all out about kids just feeling really bad because of some experience they had on there, and they're some mean comments, and it's not okay. It's going to happen though, and we try to, especially as parents, right? We try to police it as best as we can, but you can't always. You can't be 24 hours. So if you're like, hey, you're going to get 2 hours of gaming out of your system here, we try to lock out a lot of the extra conversations, and they pretty much communicate with themselves. So.
And I know you partner with all sorts of agencies, and I just want to make mention of it. It's my. What I've been told is there's an event next week, Brainstorm, at the Salvation Army on the 17th, which is a great, it's going to be a great event, and I just want to plug that while we're sitting here for sure.
I found it really enlightening. My sister's a teacher. Came into that, and I didn't realize she was attending it, and it was I think my first week at this job, and this happened, and she's like, why are you sitting here? And I'm like, I don't know, it's for teachers, isn't it? And she goes, no, it's for community. And I went there, and she introduced me to a bunch of people, open house, White House, some other
Do you have your
industry, other organizations, and I was like, wow, we can work together. And like, we have a beautiful space like that. You need a classroom, we got one. So come in and use it, and and let us know. And I'm still working to build that up, but it was enlightening to me. It's very good. I think we've been doing it for a few years now, you know, letting them use our facility, and that's what it is. It's there to be used. So.
Well, I thank you for taking the time to come down today and talk a little bit, and thank you for your partnership with Open Door Mission in this community. We look forward to the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, God bless. So that was Keith, right? Keith from Keith from the Salvation Army joining me. Awesome that he just came down here. Going to be passing off to, I think, Shayna. So we'll see which direction we go. We've got people lining up, which is great. Really excited to continue the momentum and keep this thing going. So we'll have some people coming up. I really think it's Shayna next from Ascend Mental Wellness. So if I'm correct, I'll tell you a little bit about Shayna. Shayna is street outreach. She works street outreach. I think she also works with lemurs through Ascend Mental Wellness. And she's out on the streets in the community connecting with folks really as they try to navigate services. She is building the relationships in a real profound way alongside of individuals at Open Door Mission like Renee, alongside individuals at the Waite House also. So part of a collaborative sort of street outreach, but I know that Shayna does a lot of the work out here on the streets, so really excited to speak with her. We also, looks like we also have some hot dogs coming up. All right, so are they on the grill? All right, we're just getting started with hot dogs, so if you're interested in having a little bit of lunch, you're welcome to come down. The hot dogs will be free. There would be no charge for any hot dogs. Welcome to come down and have a hot dog with us. Join us for conversations on a bench. We are getting closer to the end. I feel like we're inching in on the end. We've got to be closing in on 3 hours left. Yeah, it's 11:26. There will be a corporate prayer to end the event at 2:45, so we'll go to the national broadcast for that. That's really an opportunity for us to join together in a really incredible way with individuals across the nation, praying for well-being of the individuals that we serve. We've said that phrase several times this morning. The individuals that have joined me have said that. So it's really an opportunity for us to advocate for them, and I think that will be a powerful, powerful thing. So Shayna is just getting her mic on, and she's heading my way. In just a few seconds. Yeah, so beautiful day. All right. Got you mic'd up?
Got my mic up. Good morning.
Have a seat.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I still feel like I've got my full cognition. She's going to help you with your, yeah. Yeah, no worries. No worries. No worries. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm
yeah,
excited.
I saw you out on the street. It had to be like an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago. God knows how long ago it was. And I was like, check in with her.
Just doing the outreach thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just out here, I try to come out, check in with everybody. Everyone's pretty familiar with me at this point.
Yep. So they know.
Pop in.
So when you approach a person, what do you say? What do you do? How do you handle that?
So I won't lie, my motto is just to be myself.
Cool.
So near the bus terminal or just, out and about. Hey, my name's Shayna. Listen, I'm out from outreach. Do we have housing? Do we have other needs? What do we need? How can I help you today? And I think I get the best response by just being blunt and asking the question.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people in our community know about the work that you do, and it's so essential for them to know about the work that you do because what they see, many of the individuals in our community, what they see are individuals that appear to be homeless.
Of course.
And they may or may not be homeless, and they see and they perceive and they think, oh, why don't they get services? And you're out here providing services for them in this space. Tell us what it takes, generally speaking, for an individual to step into service?
Oh my goodness. So first you have to be fortunate enough hopefully to bump into someone like Outreach, someone that's in that program that is well versed in the field. But initially I'm the initial person, so I'm meeting people where they're at, whether it's in a park, in the woods, at the hospital. And essentially I'm just doing the initial connections to services. So that could be casework, that could be SNAP benefits, it could be health insurance. And so initially I make those quick connections, and eventually I connect someone to care management, which usually I try to connect everybody that I bump into too. It's just a great way to get the true wraparound services.
Yeah, so when someone gets to care management, what do they have? Like what is care management?
Yeah, so care management is really ongoing support. So I always tell people...
I'm just going to adjust your mic.
Sorry. No,
it's not you.
Here.
We want to make sure everybody knows. I want to make sure that everybody listening knows what care management is.
Yes.
For sure.
Is that good? I'll just leave it on the way.
Where's the other transmitter?
We're going to make an adjustment here real quick.
It's okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
Shayna's going to get a new transmitter.
Like if it's being loud, I got that down pat. Don't have to worry about
Let me
that.
try to reset that one.
Yeah, you got it.
No, you're good there. That one's fine. Thank you so much.
All right, let's try this one. See how we get. What results we get with that?
Better?
How are we doing? Is that any better?
Better? Go ahead and test it out.
Better now? Okay. Awesome. All right, so back to care management. All right, so I actually was a care manager before I started Outreach. So care management is really true wraparound service. Everything from your physical health to your social needs. They literally will help you start with the problem and see the whole problem through. So I always tell people, if you're exploring disability or Social Security, care management's great to have in your corner, not only for transportation, but they'll help you do the appeals, really just the heavy stuff that a lot of folks find intimidating, which is why some don't like to get connected to services because they don't know how to do all that heavy stuff.
Yeah, it can certainly be really intimidating to navigate resources, right? Sometimes there's a lot of hoops. Well, quite often there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and so what do you find to be some of the barriers for services? Are there barriers? Are there challenges that people face that are very real?
Oh, definitely. So I would say one of the biggest challenges people have navigating is just DSS in general. They present to DSS and they're given a packet. It's, I think, don't quote me here, but like about 23 pages. And for some people that I bump into, basic reading and writing is a challenge for them. Sure. So just the idea of having that I can't read or I can't write. So that can be a big deterrent really for people getting services, is just the amount of paperwork and having to get over their own challenges of not being able to read or write, or basic like reading comprehension. That's one. And then another challenge that we bump into is a lot of people may already have like Social Security and whatnot, so that can be a challenge when you go up to DSS and you're presenting as homeless and you may already have Social Security in place. They're not going to help you, which is, it makes it impossible. You have someone that might only make $600 a month on Social Security, and now they have to try and save money, come up with first month's rent, the initial security deposit, and that alone can be a challenge as well. So those are definitely two of the top ones that I see.
Yeah, I've seen some of that, and I don't have intimate knowledge of that as much as you do, and I know Maureen Dar has talked to me a lot about that. Like within the system, there are limitations on like earning or receiving benefits that if you receive these benefits or earn these benefits, you can't get into this program.
Yep.
And so there's just restrictions and limitations in all of those spaces. And so how do I know that? Like I don't know that until I hit the wall unless I have somebody working alongside of me who knows that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's, I could really go on with a lot of the challenges. I feel like that's the hardest part about my job is I'm always trying to pick apart at where we can improve and be better overall. But of course, I'm just one person in a big pond.
Yeah.
So, hopefully with events like this and more awareness, people will hear it and maybe we can start to try and figure something out.
Before you step off the bench, talk to me
Yeah.
about a victory that you've seen in our community where someone has gotten connected. And if you've seen an instance where they've been on the street homeless and they've gotten connected really well, I'd love to hear about it.
Oh my gosh, I have a few. So I'll start with one. I met a young guy out here last summer, has been homeless an extended period of time. He even remained homeless throughout the winter, and he was using, campfires and tents and that kind of a thing as well. So we met out here, and he actively, is actively in addiction, and he's just really struggling. And we had a conversation, and I said, I think you could turn this around. I really think that you seem like you want this, and I would just love to be in your corner. So why don't we start by getting you screened for Cooper Street, which is our shelter over, at 50 Cooper Street. So I screen him. We do the whole thing. We get him to Cooper Street. Within a week, he, stops hanging out with that group of friends. We get him care management, and he's getting all the support, wrapped around him at Cooper Street. And actually, just last week, he just got placed into permanent housing.
Awesome.
So that's just one of my favorite victories. I literally got to see him start out with absolutely nothing, and now he literally has all the things he needs. And the best part was I actually got to take him to an appointment yesterday. And I'm his person, we all have our people.
That's good.
So he had asked me, will you take me to the appointment? Yes, of course I will. So I bring him, and the first thing he said when he came out of his new apartment was, I'm doing really great here.
Cool.
And, I'm trying to fight back tears because it was literally why I do this job. It is just the best.
That's good. That's good.
It is the best, yeah. And it takes a team.
Yeah.
Of course, I work really closely with Renee at Open Door.
Yeah.
So, I just love the team aspect of it. And we all have something to offer, which I think is just more than what these guys need. So teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down to the
Yeah,
bench
thanks for
today.
having me. I love
Yeah,
it.
and thank you for the work you do in this
thank
community.
you.
It is so essential. The work that Shayna does is really courageous, and it is essential to maintaining a healthy community. So thank you.
Thank you
for
for
joining
having
me.
me.
Yeah, great to see you.
See you
I'll see you
around.
again.
As always.
That was Shayna from Ascend Mental Wellness doing street outreach here down in the city of Glens Falls. So we've got some hot dogs being cooked here off to my left. We've got individuals lining up for the bench, so we're going to keep going. No, you're good. We're going to keep going, and we're just switching off mics right now, trying to manage our tech and all that is. Hoping to get Lauren and Kaylee up here soon so they can talk about volunteer opportunities. Also have a very special guest. A very special guest next, it looks like. So let me do some communication. Good.
I can't believe you're going still.
I'm good. I feel good. It's the Holy Spirit within me. And that I'm still looking forward to that thing we talked about when we, man, the soak.
Yeah.
So am I still on? Yeah, so that was Derek, our cameraman. And that was Derek, our cameraman. And he's been doing an incredible job managing the technology here for the event. And again, he woke up this morning to sprinklers.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that. Hey,
Hello there.
how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you. So everyone, this is my father, Robert Munyon. You may notice a resemblance. I think that many people have noticed that over the years and have actually called me by your name.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's pretty common. I get, hey Robert, pretty common. So.
Well, you haven't got the gray hair yet. So.
Yeah, I'm getting there. So thanks for joining me.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Looks like it's going great.
Yeah, it's been a great event. We've had a great turnout, a lot of support. We really have an incredible community of individuals that is working to address the issues, and it's been really positive. We've been talking a lot about the victories that we're seeing individuals overcome adversity and that type of thing.
That's really encouraging.
Yeah. So what did you come down here to talk about? What were you thinking you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. Since I've been listening to it a little bit and thinking about it, and it's kind of in my mind brought me back to years ago when you were kind of having your struggles, and before you made these major changes in your life, and what it was like initially going through that, and kind of how that went. And so I've been kind of like going down memory lane a little bit with that, and thinking about it, and thinking about some of the things that happened.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear some of your perspective. I'm happy to share a little bit of my perspective. So Jason and I talked a little bit about this, and I talked a little bit about this with Ben and some other people. I spent approximately 20 years in active addiction, really struggling with all that came with that active addiction. It was in 2012, the summer of 2012, where you and some others confronted me in my addiction. It wasn't until then that I even thought about getting help. And then I can remember being confronted about being addicted to opiates, and I can remember agreeing at that point to go to an inpatient clinic. Yeah, at St. Lawrence. I went to SLATC up in Ogdensburg. Was scheduled for 28 days. I convinced them to let me out in 24 days because that's how convincing I was, right? And I thought I had it solved for sure. Like I thought, like I can manage this in my own power. I just needed to get that period of time where I was clean to sort of get me off on the right path. And I quickly failed and fell back into addiction. And so I went back to work, and I was working, and I was back fully in addiction very quickly. And it's really scary as I look back at it, because I was back to the place I was right before I went into SLATC, like quickly, which was heavily addicted to opiates. And then you came to visit me at work. You and Mom came to visit me at work. And it became clear to me that you were going to set some hard boundaries. And I think God really provided clarity. He provided clarity for me in those moments about the things that I was doing, really at a deeper level. Like a deep recognition of all that I was doing and how that was really sort of tearing us apart. And I spent Christmas of 2012 at your house, detoxing from opiates, and I don't know if you know that or not, but I was detoxing at that point. And I was going to do it in my own power. And then January 13th of 2013, I used again, and I smoked some marijuana, and it was then that God really woke me up. It was in that moment that I used, really, where God provided clarity and grace and all that I really needed to recognize that I had a need that was greater than myself.
Yeah. I remember that January. I remember the summer too, after rehab, and kind of when, after you had gotten out of rehab, and then to find out that you relapsed. I remember how that was a real struggle, because we just had high hopes that was going to work for you. And but then that January, I remember your mom and I had talked about where you were at and what was going on, and we knew that you were going to probably pretty quickly have to be looking for another place to live, and probably be asking about moving back in with us. And we both talked about it, and we decided that, hey, this is just not working this way. And we've gone through this same thing many times, and now we're here, and it's happening again. And we both decided that it was time that we needed to just say that it was not okay for you to come back home. And I remember saying that to you on the phone, and it was really hard to say. And we hated doing that because it just was, for us as parents, it's just so contrary, you know, to draw a line like that instead of, well, we got a spare room, do what we can, help them out, why not? But it just seemed right that we had to draw a boundary there. And so we told you that, and here it is, January, the middle of winter, and you were cold and not having a place to go to. We weren't sure what was going to happen. But it seemed like that was a real turning point, and it seemed right after that we were noticing a big change in you.
Yeah. You know, you look back at it, and I can remember hearing those things and hearing them, I think, for the first time, like hearing, like, just the reality of that and how powerful that was, and then God working on my heart in the midst of all of that, and recognizing, like, hey, like, I need God and I need recovery. Like, I need, and they're all integrated, they're all interwoven for sure. It's not one or the other. And so you had connected me the summer before with Kevin. And I can remember that first meeting he took me to. I was detoxing in an NA meeting, and I can remember walking into the meeting and you say, "Hi, Jamie," you say your name and you're an addict, and just, boom, what flew out of my mouth was, "Hi, I'm Jamie and I'm not an addict." And just the denial that I was just stuck in. And I, at that point I giggled it away, but I look back on it and I'm just like, oh my Lord, how much denial was I in at that moment that it just flew out of my mouth. I am not an addict. And but then Kevin was willing to come back alongside of me in January when I was ready, and we began to go to meetings and began to do the step work. And in recovery, you try to sort through, and in life, we should all try to sort through how much control we have. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can change, accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. So that control, I thought I had control of more than I had control of. That's how I lived my life, and Kevin really taught me that I didn't have as much control as I thought I had. He said I had zero control.
He would say zero.
Yeah, that was his message to me, which was a great message, and that's a whole philosophical conversation that we don't need to go into. But I thought what I needed was to know that I had zero control at that moment. And so yeah, that began the journey of recovery, and doing step work and seeing the benefits of those things. Learning that, like, that obedience, that willingness to step into that space, God honors that, and He blesses that in awesome ways, and He does the things that we cannot do for ourselves, right?
Yeah, I think when I think it worked out a month or a little bit more later, you did come and live with us.
Yep.
And at that point, we agreed to it because we could see the change, but we also wanted to have some, like, strict rules. And the rules were really about the two things that you mentioned, that we wanted you to work on your recovery and to work on things spiritually. And that meant being involved in recovery programs and being involved in active in going to church. And as long as we saw those things, we felt like you were making progress. And so those were the conditions that we kind of allowed it to happen.
Yeah, and I think that goes into something we talked about yesterday, and just I talked about with a woman who her son is struggling with homelessness in North Carolina, and the nature of boundaries. I talked with Maureen about it, and having flexible boundaries, but they need to be flexible and adaptable based on the evidence of the situation. In our relationships, we need to do that, and real evidence, not wishful thinking,
Exactly.
but real evidence that there's hope for change. We need to do that in our relationships. It's just healthy. And I think I'm pretty sure it's something God does with us.
Well, it really forced me to face up to my tendency towards codependency, and that was And that has been a struggle, you know, that people-pleasing thing is, it seems like the right solution, but it's not necessarily the thing to do. And it takes a lot of honesty with oneself to be able to see the presence of that.
Yeah, and it's really hard. Pastor Steve Van Dixhorn used to be Pastor Steve. He really helped me understand that, like, it's a hard analytical thing to do to figure out what's mine, what's yours, what's ours. Like, that's a challenge. That's not something that's easily navigated. You know, you don't just figure that out. That's hard work.
Yeah.
But it's worthwhile for sure. Yeah.
What I came to appreciate so much in recovery and dealing with my own issues, with my own difficulties with things in my life, that recovery is great at helping us to be honest and helping us to be humble. And that was really what I needed at that point to work on some things, and that's why I got involved in the recovery program, and then the whole idea of, you know, some people want to go and do it and be done and be cured and move on, but for me, I find that that's a constant struggle, and it's something that you know, going to a weekly recovery program, people would tell me, well, you know, I've been sober 20 years or 30 years, but I still go, and I understand that. I understand that going to a program every week and talking about my problems and talking about the hardest problems that I struggle with, that's a good way to stay humble.
Yeah.
And it helps with that.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to do that. And if it's not a reoccurring recovery meeting, I would certainly, it needs to be relational in some way, shape, or form, right? You need to have relationships where you can do that, where you can be transparent and open about your struggles. So, well, yeah, anything else you want to throw at me?
No, that's okay. I just, I think that one of the things that impresses me most about the Open Door and what you and your staff do there is just, I feel like that the acceptance and the caring that you show towards clients goes a long way.
Yeah.
And accepting people where they're at is huge.
Yeah.
And just being able to show that you care about them, and you care, and you do your things to help them out. That means a lot to people.
Yeah.
And I did counseling for many years, and I learned a lot from my clients.
Yeah.
And I found very quickly, as a client would tell me their story and get into details, that I gained a great deal of respect for them.
Yeah, that's really healthy.
And they taught me a lot.
Yeah. Well, I have a great deal of respect for what you've done in your life, and I really think that something we all need to consider is generational change and transformation, and I think that even before you, your mother and your father went before you, and same with Mom, my mother, your wife, and her mother and father, they went before her too. And God honors that in amazing ways, and we can break those cycles of generational whatever brokenness, if that's what you want to call it. I think that's one of the highest callings we have as parents in our families, with our loved ones, all of that stuff. So thank you.
All right. Hey, there's one more thing I wanted to mention to you, that kind of fatherly advice.
Yeah.
That if your board at the Open Doors wants you to move your office to City Park, you probably better be careful.
Yeah, they may ask me to do something like that. There's been it's been received well. All right, love you.
Take care.
Yeah. All right. So that was my father, Robert Munyon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
That's really cool.
yeah, that was a great conversation. A lot of fun. I love my dad. He has made some big changes in his life, and those changes have really blessed me in awesome ways. So we are going fast and furious here. It looks like hot dogs are being made over there. People are lining up to my right here. And I think we've got somebody coming right on. Excuse me, we're putting tape on the sidewalk, which is great, just in case any skateboarders come by and roll over it. Yeah, we don't want anybody getting caught up on that. So yeah, hey, how are you? Yeah. So next is Dan Hall. Dan, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, appreciate you coming down. It was great to see you. When was it? This past Tuesday, right?
Yeah. I wanted to. I heard that you were doing this. I wanted to come and at least thank you for everything that you guys do for the community, and talk a little bit about. I know a woman that was ahead of me is basically a caseworker, and she's out there every day trying to help. That there are resources, and I think that the hardest part of the homelessness is getting people to want to use the resources.
Yeah, and sometimes it is, for sure. Yeah. People are reluctant to go into the spaces wherever they're at and receive resources, yeah.
So, and another thing on the other side of it, I was a business owner, and, I had a passion for Ed Moore and for Tyler. They're trying to run a successful business, and what's happening in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And I know that we're not alone. I just read an article about Binghamton's have a wicked problem. They had a encampment. One of the churches allowed them to have an encampment in their yard, and the city came in and kicked them out.
Sure.
And so compassion is something that's difficult for people that really affects them, especially when it comes economically.
Yeah, and there's so much complexity in it when it comes to the different situations that where a person arrives at homelessness. There's just so much complexity to it. So really, truly understanding the issues and their complexity is almost impossible. And my heart goes out to Ed for sure. And so the city is facing some decisions, and we'll do our best to work through those things together. There's no easy answer.
There's not.
Yeah, there's no easy answer. So we got to keep that in mind. And then in my heart and mind, I always want to provide the individuals that are struggling with options, with very clear options. So if you want opportunities to engage in services, here's your options. And if you're not willing to, here are the boundaries. And so I think that's what the city, generally speaking, has to decide. What are the boundaries? And that's I trust you know more about that decision than I ever will.
So I'm glad to go to that meeting the other day and to hear that there is actually caseworkers out there talking to people. My background is I was a salesperson for many years. Yep. And what we basically do as a salesperson is you qualify a person and ask them, are they ready to buy, or are they ready to do this or do whatever. And I think that that's an important aspect. And I think that the caseworkers are saying, what's your situation? What do we need to do to help you, or do you want to help, and so on. It sounds like there's some positive things. I just think it's going to take some time.
Yep.
And hopefully the community gets behind everything, because it is, it's a detriment when you got people at the circle that are using drugs and so on. And I know the city has limited resources, but I know that they're trying. It's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, they have limited resources, and our current laws around drug use really allow are what I would call permissible. They allow a lot of drug use, and so those are the laws, and we've got to follow the laws, right?
So,
yeah, we did speak really briefly in that meeting about new guidance from Office of Mental Health, which allows for involuntary psychiatric stays, which I think is something that the community, in my mind, needs to embrace, because we need to recognize that these folks are struggling mentally, and that, you know, that's really an opportunity for them to get out of the cyclical things they're stuck in. Yeah, downtown.
And I think that's the key word, stuck. You know,
Yeah.
They gotta try to get out, you know, and it's not easy. And I understand there's a lot of fear, you know, fear's a, you know, even if it could be something good for change, you know, still there's a fear of it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, so, but anyway, I wanted to stop by and at least say hi to you, and thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thanks for being a part of this community for many years.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah. God bless you.
Good seeing you.
Good to see you too. Take care.
Yeah.
So that was Dan Hall. Was once the mayor of Glens Falls, and still a integral part of the community, and just wanted to talk about some of the things that were going on around the community. We do have a city task force that is meeting regularly to address a response to the individuals that are wrestling with homelessness and mental illness and substance use disorder and all of those things. So it's great that a community is coming together to do that. My hope and prayer is that that response is a healthy one, is one that is balanced, centered in compassion and empathy and healthy boundaries and all of those things. That is not an easy solution. It's not easy to find that solution. So we'll continue to look for that and head that direction together, I hope. So I think we've got others coming up. I've got Sarah with the microphone. We've got hot dogs being eaten. I love to see the hot dogs being eaten. I've still got a breakfast sandwich in my pocket, so I've got that going for me. All right. Yes, and I was hoping this next individual was going to be the next individual. So looking forward to this next person that's coming up.
I might actually move your lab
Okay.
because I might try to like do.
I love the little one. So we've got little ones running around.
Actually, if you're cool having it
Yeah, wherever you
like
want it.
open like a little bit,
Absolutely.
you can leave it on, but kind of make it look styling. Actually, you open it all the way.
I'm good. Got a breakfast sandwich I'm trying to catch up to. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that too.
How do we feel about this? If you hold your hand in it?
That's fine.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
Stick this wire.
I'm warm enough. I can stay open. I do want to get Lauren and Kaylee up soon.
Okay.
Maybe after.
Like you've been doing online, so
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming down and supporting
Absolutely.
us. Yeah. Great to see you.
so
Yeah. I love the little one with the curls.
yeah.
Love it.
Hi, saying hi. Yeah.
What's
so
their name?
this is Kayla.
Kayla. Hey, Kayla.
Yeah.
Did you get a hot dog, Kayla?
Yeah. Sure did.
Nice. So
Sure
sweet.
did.
Awesome.
So,
Well, it's great to
yeah.
see you.
Thanks for what you're doing. And,
Yeah, of course. Thank you
Yeah.
for everything you guys do.
Oh, our pleasure.
Yeah. Great to see you.
See you.
Guy. Hey, brother. What's happening?
Jamie, how you doing?
Good. All right.
Good.
So we're getting hooked in right now. I think we're on and ready to go. How's it sound?
Good. Yeah. Maybe if
Get a little closer. We're gonna get close and personal for this conversation. All right,
Sounds
Josh.
good. Sounds good.
So this is Josh. Josh is. Where are you at? You tell them. Why don't
Well,
you tell
right now I'm living on my own. I was
them?
in the mission for a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
I just 2 weeks ago finally completed the program.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a long road,
Yep.
but I made it.
Yeah.
You
So-
guys are made a blessing. This is a blessing definitely for a lot of people and me.
Yeah, you've been a blessing for me and for the mission for sure.
Thank you.
It's been awesome to walk with you. What sort of fell in place? What were the things that really worked for you as you navigated programming at the mission?
Well, one thing was I always had a goal in mind.
Yeah.
Different steps I had to achieve first. Whether it was first getting finances set, and after that paying back, back bills, that's so I can afford to live, and then get housing after I get all that.
Yeah.
So all that stuff, in a year and a half I got done. It took a while, but I had to do what I had to do to get there.
Yeah, so you set some goals
Yeah.
and you set your heart and mind on those goals.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you achieved those goals.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and that's part of the process, right? That's part of just living daily.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you become very comfortable with that, and now
Oh yeah.
you can live from that place. You got those skills. You can live from that space and do those things.
Yes, because honestly, when I first came, I was very nervous.
Sure.
Because I've never been in a situation I was in at all. So I've never been in such a situation before. So I was nervous about a lot of things. So I was very shy, very nervous, very scared.
Yeah.
So it was a change in life, and I know I needed to do something different. So but I didn't know what yet.
Yeah. And so the goal setting is essential to
Yeah.
growth for sure. What else happened? I know some other things happened, and I want to pull them apart as much as possible. What else happened at the mission that really helped you to grow, helped you to make changes?
Well, the staff supported me, and it definitely supported me personally in helping me keep faith.
Yeah.
It's showing me that they're very faithful and how they believe, and they led by example.
That's
in
awesome.
faith is what helped too.
Yes.
As well as the community member, the residents that walked in faith too, or did not, but people that were trying,
Yeah.
whether with faith or not, and being success stories as well helped too.
Yeah. So you sort of absorb some of
Yeah.
those things, the positive things that the other people are doing. So the folks that exemplify faith and all that is, if you're headed the right direction, you're going to naturally absorb some of that, right, and take on some of that.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So that was part of your journey. Who were some of those people? You can, if you want to name staff names, you can name staff names.
Oh, yeah,
If there's volunteers that you want to name, you can name those names.
Let's see. Well, first person I met was Renee. She was good.
Yeah.
She has high spirits, and she's very. I can't think. I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. She's very energetic. Yes, and she brings a light to the mission. So she brings energy to there. When she gets all feeling the word and everything, feeling the spirit, and letting people in. But she's the first step in the door. She's the first one.
Yeah, she's that first point of contact. So a lot happens in that interaction, that engagement, and she does bring a lot of energy and light to those conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. Who else?
And he was the shelter manager. Brian was a big part of helping me be more comfortable. He was very personal with me. I felt like I got a nice relationship with him personally at the mission. And we got Ryan, we got Jeff, we got Rob, Jacob, almost everybody. Steven, volunteers like Gail. Gail's husband, who's a minister, priest himself.
Yeah, Rick.
Rick, he's my mentor right now.
That's awesome.
In faith, and he's been really good to me.
Yeah, so he's been doing like a sort of a discipleship, mentorship relationship with you.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yes, I have another one person. I'm not gonna name the name, but he was part of the program, but he's now going to train me in discipleship.
Awesome.
From the Pine Knolls. I don't want to name his name because I don't know if he wants me to, so I'm not going to.
No, we'll respect that 100%.
Yeah.
That's so good. So the relationships that you have were a catalyst to change, and that's been a reoccurring theme here over the last 20
Just
hours.
acceptance of being a person was really important to me. being accepted was a big deal to me, and it came through being accepted by the staff and the residents there.
You think their acceptance of you helped you to sort of accept yourself in some ways?
Exactly.
And maybe some of the past things, the past hurts and
That's what I'm
things that you
saying,
were
yeah.
carrying around?
Yeah, exactly. I was carrying a lot of stuff around, and that's really helped me with people accepting me.
Yeah.
I walked in there being like, this is going to be such a show,
Yeah.
like such a bad time for a while, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought of the worst, and it was really positive fast, but it took me a while to
And
get
it's
comfortable.
totally understandable to walk into an environment that's foreign, and you know, and you don't. There's a lot of uncertainty, and to have those expectations. I'm glad your expectations were flipped upside down very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a huge blessing.
It was.
That's a huge blessing. So what else? What's in the future for you? What do you got?
Well, right now I am actually just got my, like I said, got my own place. Just try, and I got hooked up with a program that I'm trying to get into that helps, another program that helps with my type of things, my disabilities. I'm trying to get in that program.
Okay, great.
So I'm reached out to that as well, and it's going to be a little process, but I'm looking forward to that, and then just some more steps in my life. I'm just doing little things at a time, just enjoying my place right now.
Do it. Enjoy it.
And I'm spending time with family and friends and doing my professional helps, you know, just keeping up on all that.
Awesome. Well, you deserve it, like I said, and so reap the rewards of your hard work. I would say that to you, encourage you to do that. Continue to cling to Christ, cling to God, and be in that space as much as possible, and He'll continue to provide. We know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming down here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we love you, man, and wish you the best. Thanks,
Thank
Josh.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome. God bless.
Yeah, great to see you. So that was Josh. He was a program participant at Open Door Mission for quite a while, and he's had some really incredible successes. Hoping and praying that he'll continue to move towards the goals, towards the successes, towards the victories, trusting that he will be able to do those things. So yeah, I'm not sure who's up next. Hoping that we can get Ben Driscoll up here. Lauren, can we get Ben up here?
Yes.
Great, and then we can get you and Kaylee up? Okay, great. So things are coming together here. We've got a general idea of what we can do. Hey, Ben. Good to see you. Thanks for coming up. Yeah. So hoping that works. We're gonna sit sort of close so my mic you can get picked up on my mic too. Okay. We'll see if this works.
Sing a bit.
Yeah. We're a work in progress here, which is all good. All right. Thanks, Sarah. Well, thanks for coming down today.
Thank you.
How have you been?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Doing
even
great.
though the Red Sox got kicked out of the playoffs
I know,
a couple
yeah.
of weeks, what was it, last week?
We're
or
getting
something?
ready to go to Italy for my
Are
nephew's
you?
wedding, so we're flying out of Boston
Okay.
Monday afternoon, and we'll be back the following. I've never been to Europe before, so it's
awesome.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Ben Driscoll. He holds a few roles. Tell us about the roles that you hold in the community.
I think I'm here, first of all, to talk about my role at Catholic Charities of Saratoga, Warren, and Washington counties. We're located, our Glens Falls office is located over at 35 Broad Street in the city of Glens Falls, right next door to our neighbors at the Salvation Army, directly across the street from the Village Green community. Also, I'm in my 8th year of serving on the Warren County Board of Supervisors. I'm one of 5 representatives from the city of Glens Falls representing the 5th Ward, which includes Glens Falls Hospital, right along the Hudson River and Feeder Canal.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate all your service in the community. So, what are you guys doing at Catholic Charities? What do you guys do over there?
Well, we represent Warren, Washington, and Saratoga counties. Our anchor program here in Saratoga is in Glens Falls is our domestic violence project. We're the state licensed domestic violence services provider representing Warren and Washington counties. There's another organization that covers Saratoga County. My program that I've been doing for about 10.5 years at Catholic Charities is called the Nutrition Outreach and Education Program, and the purpose of that is to educate and inform people about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, formerly probably over a dozen years ago called food stamps.
Yeah, sure.
Still people call that, but it's the same program.
Yeah.
It's a federal program. I get a lot of calls in the last month or so about the federal shutdown and the impact. People who receive benefits will receive those during the month of October, and I'm very confident that they will receive those. This situation will get resolved by Congress and the people down in Washington, D.C., so that deserving people don't lose out on benefits that really aren't just nice benefits. They're necessary benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you're confident in that. I know there's been some concern about benefits being cut, and certainly there may be some uncertainty there, but your confidence is weighty for sure. So yeah, that's good. Yeah. What else you got for us? Anything else that you want to sort of?
Well, we also assist as we can with emergency services, utility shutoffs, potential evictions, and we work with a collaborative of community organizations, including the Open Door, White House, Family Services, Salvation Army, and others to not just send a check along for individuals to prevent that situation, but to provide some case management, to provide some hope. And I think that's the message that all of us, whatever the types of programs and services that we provide, are trying to provide to individuals. Hope. They're going through times of crisis and despair. Some of it is only short term. Some of it's been over the course of years, and there's a wide variety of separation, divorce, substance abuse, a variety of different types of mental health issues. Again, things that they didn't receive a memo or an email about, so they have to deal with those as best they can. And it has not just an impact on the individual, but oftentimes with family members, both children, older adults. So if we can provide a kind of a holistic approach, collaborate and partner with member organizations that we work with to make sure that we're earning their trust and respect. Before someone comes to see you, they want to earn that trust and respect that you really have their best intentions at heart.
I think we do a really good job at carrying the message of hope collaboratively here in the community. I will certainly say I don't believe we've arrived, and we can make improvements, and we all, I think, accept that as partner agencies, that we can continue to improve and continue to grow.
Yeah, it's frustrating too, Jamie, that if we have 10 families that come to us, we're not going to hit a home run each time, and sometimes it's difficult, but we have to tell people we just don't have the resources or the understanding or expertise to help us. Then sometimes we can refer them to someone else, but to them that seems like we're passing the buck, and that's not the impression that we want to give. But again, I think that we truly help a majority of the families and individuals that seek our assistance, and sometimes it's just someone to listen to. I've learned I've been doing this type of work for 47 years, and I've learned to be a better listener each and every year. That's so important. Sometimes they're lectured to, they're given a kind of a script of what they need to do, and that's not the best way to reach them. That's not the kind of the ingredients for success. It's basically listening to them, processing, and then giving them a kind of an action plan to self-sufficiency or a better situation for themselves, quality of life that is achievable, and maybe if they can only check off 5 or 6, 7 of the boxes out of 10, at least we're making headways and we're heading in the right direction for them.
Yeah, that listening goes a long way for a person who is in crisis, right? Because they may actually have some resources available to them, but may not be able to access them because they are in crisis. And if you can listen, you may be able to help them navigate through the crisis into those already existing resources, right? Yeah. So it goes a long way. Yeah, that's great. Well, I appreciate all the work you've done for the community and in the different roles you're in. And it's been a privilege to work alongside you, for sure.
This is a great idea, and I hope that a lot of people are watching. It's so important that that elected officials, I'll wear my elected official hat now, it's so important that elected officials understand the issues that are happening in their communities, and not just in Greater Glens Falls, but in some of the outlying communities where there's homelessness in the outlying communities. There's couch surfing, there's individuals staying in homes and apartments. It's just not a good situation. The house was built for 2 people or 4 people, and to have 7 or 8 in there, it's just not a good situation. Temporarily, maybe. Long-term, no. And also the business community, that they understand that even as not-for-profit, administrators, we're business people. The Open Door is it's a mission, but it's also a business.
Absolutely.
You still have to do budgets and submit paperwork to funding sources and all of that. Yeah, exactly. I wish I had taken a little bit more attention to that accounting class that I took back in college, but that was a long time ago. But it's networking, having dialogues with diverse populations, the people that we serve, but also the people that support us, whether it's through fundraising events or special events, or just annual giving to the Thanksgiving program or to the Christmas programs. All of those types of things, or dropping off some good used clothing, or supporting the food pantry, or giving a resident or someone that you're working with a lead on a job opportunity in their in their business. It's just so important that we maintain that dialogue, and also trust and respect for each other.
Yeah, right.
So that if I give you a call, you're not going to say to someone, "Oh, no, I don't want to talk to him."
Sure.
And you got to earn that, and you do that by events like this, and basically reaching out to the community every single day.
Yeah, it's something that we earn and we maintain, and I think we do it well here in Glens Falls and in Warren County, beyond, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ben.
Appreciate it. Thank
Privilege,
you very much.
man. Yeah, thanks for coming up. You have a great day.
Okay.
That's Ben Driscoll with Catholic Charities. You can go ahead, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I've got Kaylee and Lauren coming up next, and so I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, getting a little bit of a snack,
nice.
eating breakfast. And Kaylee and Lauren are going to talk about some opportunities to serve around the mission. So.
You good?
Sorry, go again.
Oh.
Just testing our mics. All right, hi everyone. Jamie's taken just a couple of minutes to take a break. So Kaylee and I are up here. I am Lauren. I am the development director at Open Door Mission. Kaylee works in development as donor engagement and volunteer specialist. And development at a nonprofit, if you're not familiar with it, basically means we're responsible for the funding piece of it. So we work with donors and grants, that type of thing, in order to bring in enough funding so the front line, the folks who work with our guests, are able to do what they can do and what their specialty is. So we're kind of, back office, but we're responsible for that. A big piece of funding for a nonprofit is actually volunteers. And I'm going to let Kaylee talk a little bit about our volunteers, because we have an incredible volunteer story. And Kaylee can give you the data, but also the story that goes behind what that data means to Open Door Mission and the entire community.
Yeah. So volunteers, we have about 360 active volunteers, and last year we had 18,500 volunteer hours, which is about 2 years of round-the-clock work and equates to about $2 million worth of revenue. Like, we would have had to pay about $2 million to have had those work hours. So it is, like a super big deal for us to have the volunteers to do those hours. As a nonprofit, we wouldn't be able to exist or do any of what we do if those hours weren't volunteer-based.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have $2 million to pay all of the people that it would take to do the work that our volunteers do, right?
Yes.
And the other piece of that, which I'm just kind of thinking of, even though we knew this, is that these are folks who maybe come once a year, or they come a couple times a week.
Wide
we have
range.
folks that put in many hours, and these are fresh faces with different skills and talents, and they build relationships with our guests, right?
Yeah.
And we can't do all that.
No,
So.
we don't have the manpower behind that. So I mean, it's the role varies. But it's so important. And like you kind of said, we have people who come in and, we have someone who comes in and does all of the murals, and her talent is painting. So that's what she donates to us is her talent.
And breakfast sandwiches. She brought us a packet of breakfast sandwiches this morning, all hot and fresh, and it was a lovely gift.
I didn't know she could do that too.
I know.
We should stick her in the kitchen.
Lynn's a great lady.
So I mean, we have a volunteer who comes in and he's a handyman, so he just does all of our handiwork. So there are so many opportunities depending on your specific talents to be able to come in and give us those.
And you don't have to be an extrovert.
No.
Right? Like, we have the extrovert jobs, and in the kitchen, in the food pantry. Great jobs, but we have an introvert job too, right? Which is actually one of our spaces right now that we could use some help in.
Our clothing closet. Our clothing closet. You can hang out there. It's really quiet space. We are blessed with so many clothing donations, so much so that we just don't know what to do with it at all.
So we share. But it has to be sorted.
But we have to have somebody go through it, comb through it, decide what we can use and what we need to pass on, and then put away the stuff that we decide that we can use. And that's a great need for us. I think we have two very faithful volunteers in the clothing closet who donate. They each donate like 4 hours a week, but we get so many clothing donations that it's just not enough to keep up with it. So we could definitely use more. So if there's an introvert out there that wants to hang out with a bunch of clothing,
that's a great place for you.
Yes.
Right. And the other really big need that I'm thinking of, because it's become urgent, right?
Yeah.
Last night was our first night open for Code Blue.
Yes.
So Code Blue, a little bit of information about that, is a New York State policy that says at 32 degrees, and we can figure in wind chill, we are able to open our doors and invite anyone who needs a bed to come in and sleep. And we do give everybody a bed, showers, all their meals, of course snacks, and resources. So along with that, clothing, do you need a case manager? Do you need insurance? Do you need to maybe have some addiction recovery? Do you need medication? You know, what is it that maybe is that next step that's going to move you forward? Or do you just want to come in and keep warm and survive the night? So Code Blue in this part of the state runs almost 7 months a year. So these folks come in each afternoon, later afternoon, and they come in cold and hungry, and our staff is very overwhelmed every day, and it's very helpful if we have a volunteer or two that comes in and just maybe serves a meal, you know, or maybe helps giving out the shower items, right?
Yep.
So Kaylee, tell us a little bit about what maybe a Code Blue volunteer could expect, or if they're interested, what do they do then?
Yeah. So I would say that if you're interested and you already volunteer with us, you can reach out to me, and we can talk about how to get you plugged into Code Blue specifically. If you're interested and you don't volunteer with us already, come to an orientation. We do have one tomorrow morning, 9:30 to 10:30. And you know, that's a more broad orientation, but then we can talk specifically about Code Blue. So those are first steps to getting involved with Code Blue, but really what you could expect, I think typically we have a night shift, 6 to 9. You come in, you serve dinner, and then hand out shower materials if people are looking to shower, help frontline staff with getting clothing and getting people settled in for the night. And then there's also a 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. shift, which is serving breakfast and getting people put together to head out for the day. So they're really accessible tasks. Nothing that's like much pressure, but really takes a lot of pressure off of frontline staff who, when they have to do all of it, it's overwhelming.
Right.
So
right. It's such a help to have that one other person there that can serve up dinner, and then you can, you know, have the conversations with folks about how was your day,
right,
that type of thing.
Yeah.
What do you need today? Yeah.
If you're serving base needs for our frontline staff, if like they're just having to do the showers and get the clothing and stuff, they don't have the opportunity to have those kinds of conversations. Right. So it's just kind of lifting that off of frontline so they have a little bit more room.
Right. Now, we do have that volunteer orientation every month.
Yes.
So you can't come tomorrow, but you do want to come. And the volunteer orientation, by the way, is 1 hour on a Saturday morning, 9 to 10. So not a huge commitment there, taking up your Saturday. We do it every month. If you can't come tomorrow, we can sign you up for the next month and just let us know. If you can't come tomorrow, come on in. Come on in tomorrow. We'd be happy to have you.
Yeah.
And there's so many other opportunities. Kaylee, you want to name off maybe a few other opportunities, just regular volunteer opportunities, maybe some things that people don't think of, too, that we may have.
Sure, yeah. Our front desk right now, we have Saturdays, Sunday mornings, and then Thursday afternoons that we have like a whole right now. Our front desk is a really important piece. It's the hub of the mission. You're really like transferring phone calls, facilitating things for guests who come in, just directing anybody that comes in to what they need. So I think that's, you know, a really good opportunity right now. That's for more the extroverted person or somebody who really wants to be involved, and that's a cool opportunity to connect with all of the residents in the mission and all of our clients who come in for lunch and things like that.
Right. Really important piece though, right? Because you're the first face that people see when they come in. So that's our donors, our volunteers, and of course our guests.
Yes.
So and a lot happens at that front desk.
A lot happens at that front desk.
You get to know a lot of people.
You do.
Very
you
quickly.
do, which is really, it's cool. And I know that the volunteers who do spend their time there love being able to do that and connect with the individuals. So, you know, I think that if that's your heart, like really connecting with people on an individual level, it's a great space for that. Our food pantry and our kitchen, that's like probably I think where we have the most volunteers.
Right.
Where we need the most volunteers. I think I mentioned to Jamie earlier, we have 89 volunteer shifts that happen in the kitchen per week.
That's a lot of volunteers. 89, but we're 3 meals a day.
Yes.
7 days a week. 365.
Yeah. That's something. That's an area that never really stops. And then the food pantry is kind of cool because there are so many different kinds of shifts. You know, you can have the shift of kind of like the guest associate where you're helping people do their shopping and checking people in while the food pantry is open. But then when the food pantry is closed, there's stocking that's available, like cleaning and organizing the shelves, and then truck shifts too, going and gleaning food from local grocery stores and the regional food bank who are you know, so faithful to us.
Yep, all good opportunities.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing that Kaylee, Sarah, and I do, Sarah's our marketing specialist, but one other thing that the three of us do are special events. So we help to put together events, and Gobble Wobble is, well, we have 2 events coming up very soon, but one that we need a lot of volunteers at is actually the Gobble Wobble. So this is our 5th annual turkey trot in downtown Glens Falls. It's a 5K, and it goes early in the morning, so you are done and out of there on time to eat and whip up the mashed potatoes for sure. So it won't take a lot of time out of your actual Thanksgiving. But the entire family can run this race, and we get a lot of children, we get strollers, we get dogs, we get teams. It's just a really, really fun event.
Yeah.
But one area that we do need volunteers for this event would be we need flaggers on the road. Because each part of the city where we're crossing a street, we've got to have a flagger there. So if you're not looking to run the 5K, because of course we want you to run it if you can run it, and you can sign up on our website to do that. But if you're like, you know what, I'm going to not run the 5K, or maybe the rest of my family is, but I want to be a flagger, let us know. Yeah. Because we need about 40 of those flaggers for the day. So and that's a one-time, you know, volunteer, easy in and out. You don't have to make a commitment, you know, week on week, month on month type of thing. So our special events also.
Yes.
And actually that makes me kind of think about a couple of special events that we have coming up that we should tell the folks about, because the public is invited. And one of them is called Bella Notte. I'm going to let Kaylee tell you all about Bella Notte, because this is a great night out.
Yes.
And a very easy way to take somebody out for the night too.
Yes.
Yeah.
October 23rd.
Yeah.
Yes. October 23rd at Seasoned, which is SUNY Adirondacks culinary program. Their culinary students cook at a restaurant, Seasoned. It's in downtown Glens Falls. They are doing a Italian dinner paired with wine. I believe it's 4 courses.
It is.
Yes. Yeah. So a 4-course meal that you come in and you pay a flat fee for $75.
75 a person. Yep.
75 a person. Come in, flat fee. You get 4 courses courses, and then wine with each of those courses that the culinary students and Chef Bolton at SUNY Adirondack have paired and prepared. So,
and it's quite the menu. I wish I could remember it, but it is like these guys, these students at the university really put together a crazy menu that's just beautiful.
Yep.
You couldn't go out for 75, for what you get for this. It is a fundraiser, so we make a little bit against each ticket that is sold. It is limited seats though. We have about 65 seats, I think, and we're probably getting close to half already.
Yeah.
We just started selling them, so definitely look at our website if you're interested in that, or call and ask for Kaylee and I, and we can help you with tickets if you're interested in doing that. And you can buy tables. I've had somebody ask me, can I buy a table? Oh. And we have tables of 6 or 10 if you wanted to buy a table. Yeah, so some folks, we had one person who invited some friends and filled a table. So it's another way to take people out, and of course it's a fundraiser. 100% of any donations and fundraisers stays directly at Open Door Mission 226 Warren Street and is used in program. So every penny of it is used in program and just supporting the program there at the mission. And we have folks, we say Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County. Of course, we have folks up to the Canada border, Essex County, Hamilton, and down into Schenectady and Albany. We don't get many from those counties because they have their own shelters, but we take anyone who shows up, at the door or comes in that needs help. But it's the main 3 counties that most of our guests are from. It, of course, is the homeless population, but it's also the housed poor. And some folks, aren't aware of that. We do have quite a few folks in the area that are what we call housed poor. So they are housed, but maybe they don't have a washer and dryer, and they don't have $30, $40 a week to go to the laundromat. They need help subsidizing, their kitchen, their food pantry, and their refrigerator. Our food pantry is meats, dairy, produce, canned, everything. It looks like a little grocery store. And our folks, our guests, get a shopping cart, and they actually get to walk around. And we believe that gives them dignity when they come in, and they can make their own choices of what they want. And we're not giving them just a box of beans and rice, and maybe they don't like beans, that type of thing. They get to have choices in what they would like. And if you can't read, that's what we have our volunteers do. They help them read or help them understand portion sizes or what they may need to make a recipe. If you're going to get macaroni and cheese, you need butter and milk, right? Those types of things. So that's all things that we do, at the mission, and all programs that are supported. You have approximately 80% of the mission is supported by private donations. That is all of our community just donating, and we have folks that may send us $25 a week or a month or a year. It all adds up. We do write grants in development, and we do have some grants, but that is where our funding comes from. If you ever wanted to know about our funding, we are a 501c3. So you can see our yearly audit and our audit report on our website. We are completely transparent with all of our funding, and we believe that we need to be good stewards of every dollar that's entrusted to us, because somebody has worked very hard, in order to donate that to us. Now, Kaylee is our donation engagement specialist. So she is the one to call for things like donations, but why don't you talk a little bit about donations, actually in kind and maybe the monthly giving, if you want to tell a little bit about that.
Yeah. So in-kind donations, really that's when you bring in food or clothing, things like that to the mission, which we always accept. We're always happy to. We always need things like hygiene products, sheets, pillowcases, twin size, towels, things of that nature, and then clothing, like I said, as long as we get somebody in the clothing closet.
That's right. We need the volunteer too.
We need the volunteer too. But yeah, so that's on the in-kind end. And then monetary giving, monthly giving is something that really makes a difference to us. And we're very, very fortunate and to have a lot of people who sign up for monthly giving, and a range of it, you know, people who do $10 a month and people who, you know, go above and beyond because they've been blessed and they're choosing to bless us. And yeah, that's just something that every month they give to us, and it's something that, because it's consistent, is able to give us some peace of mind, because we have that.
Yep. Big blessing,
on.
whether it's monetary or you know, in kind.
Yeah.
And a couple of questions that we get, I'll think of a couple, and maybe you can think of a couple. Sometimes folks ask us, do people have to do anything to come into Open Door Mission, you know, before they maybe want to donate to us? Like, what's our expectations of them? And sometimes they ask us, do they have to go to church, things like that. No, they don't have to go to church. They don't have to have any specific belief. They don't have to be religious. That's not something that we require of anybody to come through the door and help. We welcome anyone that wants to come in and use our resources and speak to our staff. If they'd like to get connected with a church, then we would probably connect them with our discipleship coordinator or someone else to build that relationship. We do believe body, spirit, soul is good. You want to nurture all of it, but we don't require anyone to pray, to go to church, or do any of that before they come in.
Yeah.
If they'd like to pray before they eat, they're absolutely welcome to, but they do not have to have the beliefs that we do. We do ask for things like, you know, not to bring drugs and alcohol onto property, not to bring weapons onto property, and to come in and be safe in your community. That's about it. You know, come in as you are, we want to help. So sometimes our donors ask us these questions because they want to know who they're giving to, and I don't blame them. I think that's important. I want to give my money to somebody who's doing what I believe they should be doing.
Yeah.
So that's a question we get sometimes. And sometimes we get asked the question, well, my child wants to help. You know, I have somebody who may be 10 or 14, and I'm going to let Kaylee answer this question. You have a child that maybe wants to come in and volunteer or help in some way. So what are maybe some options for somebody who's a teen or even younger than a teen?
Yeah, so a teenager can come in with a parent. If they are under 18, they can't be on site without supervision. So 12 to 18, they can come in and volunteer with their parent. We have that happen a lot, and it's a really lovely thing, a great way to spend time with your kid and give back. So that's kind of the regulations there. It's just not safe for them to be on property by themselves. We want to keep them safe, and we don't have the manpower to supervise. So that's on that end. And then if they're under 12, they can't volunteer on site, but that doesn't mean that we want to discourage them from giving back or helping. Food can drives are a huge way to help. Clothing drives.
Gobble wobble.
Gobble wobble. Right, off site. You can come and flag.
Maybe baking cookies during Code Blue.
Yeah.
You know, that one just popped in my head.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Right, yeah, a snack during,
There are so many ways to give back. And like I said, it's not in our nature to turn away any donation. So anything that a child would want to give of their time and their energy and their effort, we would be happy to accept. They just can't be on site with us, unfortunately. But it's for the safety of everybody.
Right.
So.
Right. Yep. So we do have a Life Path adult shelter, and I know some of you know this, but if you're just kind of tuning in and learning about us, it is men and women both. It's all adults, We do serve families in the kitchen, in the soup kitchen, so our meals, the food pantry, and we also have a backpack program. And I think a lot of you are probably familiar with the backpack program, but we have several schools where we send a backpack of food home in a backpack every single Friday, and that's so that when the children aren't going to school, they're going to be able to eat. So we put so many breakfast, lunch, and dinners in a backpack. It goes home with them each Friday. Now, if there's a big break from school, you know, like maybe over Thanksgiving or Christmas, then we'll do bigger things like bigger jars of peanut butter and jelly and full loaves of bread. And we also give egg cards and milk cards from Stewart's. Stewart's comes alongside us and is a big help in those, and we're able to do that for the kids each week also. So we do have a couple volunteers that put together the backpacks for us, but if you have a child interested in, maybe they want to do a food drive for the backpack program. So those are things like macaroni and cheese, you know, ready to eat things, cans of ravioli, all of that type of thing. Yeah. And those could all be used in the backpack program also. So just another service that is at Open Door Mission. And I would say if you're not sure if we offer it at the mission, to give us a call. We have a domestic violence program, an anti-trafficking program. We connect people with AA. Each day we connect people with addiction services. We have some really great collaborations throughout the community. Ascend Mental Wellness, Baywood, there's just so many of them. The Weight House, you know, once in a while we get somebody who maybe is a teenager or under 24 and the Weight House would be a better fit. So give us a call if you're ever curious about that. And give us a call if you ever want to come in for a tour. Sarah, Kaylee, or I love to give tours. Often we find when people come in, they're quite surprised at what they see at the mission. We are 4 floors, so we're quite big, about to be actually 5 if we want to count our bottom floor. Yeah. We're putting in the laundry. Laundry soap is another area that we're always in need. So you know what, give us a call and we'd love to give you a tour or answer any questions that you may have for us. We are open 7 days a week for the folks that live in that Life Path shelter. We always have somebody there, except for about 2 hours on Sunday morning, where everybody does go off to go to their separate churches if they're going to church, or they might go and just visit family. Some of our guests do that. So we do not force anyone to go to church. What it is encouraged, because we. So yeah, just give us a call. Kaylee and I would be happy. Is there anything you think we forgot that folks may want to know about?
I don't think so.
We cover it?
I feel like we covered.
All right.
We covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's impossible to cover all the ground, but I think we did an okay job.
All of development, yeah. All right. I'm going to look around and see maybe who's up, if we have somebody coming up next, but hang with us because I'm sure that we do. Oh, I see Jamie. He might have an energy drink.
I see. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You also. Yes, I'm ready.
Jamie's coming back. I don't know how he's been doing this for 22 hours now. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Kaylee, Sarah, Lauren.
Yeah. Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
How long you want to chat?
Oh, it can be short. It can be longer. Let me get my.
You want some new tape, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm gonna need some new tape.
Voting on policy, helping cultivate policy, consensus, so, it always intermingles with the politics. Obviously, it's a political in nature, but we really try to put the emphasis on the constituent part.
Okay.
That's not a line, that's the mission.
Yeah. No, I believe that with Matt and his team for sure.
Are we on right now?
No, I don't think so, not yet. Forgive me, what's your name again?
Matt.
Matt, I thought it was Matt, but now I'm saying. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are still here on the bench in I believe our 22nd hour of broadcasts from this bench in the city of Glens Falls, beautiful Glens Falls, and I'm joined by Matt, who is on staff with Matt Simpson.
Yes.
And we've met before. We've crossed paths in the past few years.
Yep.
And so Matt has a special place in his heart for Open Door Mission. His father was involved in Open Door Mission and the formation of Open Door Mission many years ago.
Yep.
So really privileged to just talk to you and connect with you here for a couple minutes. And
yeah. So how's it been going? I know you guys. I think Jeff told me you were out here since 3 o'clock yesterday.
3 o'clock yesterday. It was great. In the afternoon and the evening yesterday. It was really, really good. We had a lot of great guests, a lot of partner agencies lined up to come and just share what the work is and how well it's been going. We've been sharing a lot of the victories. That's sort of been the theme that I've been really pursuing is let's share the hope, the victories that are happening here in the city of Glens Falls when it comes to individuals that are facing homelessness, folks getting housed, folks really growing and learning skills and finding what they need to overcome some of that adversity. And our hope is, of course, always that that's sustainable for them. And we're seeing that here in Glens Falls. So we had a great mix of partner agencies yesterday talking about the victories, and then some people coming up and talking to the victories. And we had some people who came up, and we're still struggling. And that's a part of what we see in and around Glens Falls is people that are struggling with the day-to-day.
It is a struggle for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Both from the individual standpoint and the community.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's, I know from where we sit, and I'm also a Glens Falls resident myself.
Yeah.
So it is it's personal to me from the community standpoint. And, you know, we want to show individuals who are in that cycle of homelessness because we have learned that homelessness is often a symptom of something else, whether it's mental health, addiction, something along those lines, a combination of both of those. You know, there could be other factors that maybe they're trying to escape from, and that's where they land. So, you know, you can treat the homelessness part, but there's the wraparound services that touch on all the other aspects of it that are equally as important. And it's an ongoing challenge for some people. It can be a lifelong process.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And so different administrations have different sort of theoretical responses to homelessness, and I'm sure you're aware of some of that. There was a housing first sort of policy that has been implemented for many years. And I hope everybody listening to this will hear me when I say this. There are situations where housing first is very appropriate, and it's exactly what's needed. And that system should be built so that people can navigate into housing easily. And I would say, especially our aging population.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they should be able to navigate into housing quickly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
You know, I think it's important you make that distinction, because I think if you were to ask, you've been having these conversations, and I don't think that most people, when they think of somebody who is homeless, they're not thinking that it's somebody who is up there in age. They have an image that will probably pop in their mind of somebody probably around my age, maybe younger.
20, 30, 40.
Right.
Wrestling with addiction or mental wellness.
But they're not thinking that maybe it's a senior citizen. Maybe it's another distinction is we have this notion that homelessness is something that is more urban. You know, we see it in Glens Falls. It takes a lot of different forms. It looks a lot of different ways. And we have a big district that, you know, the Assemblyman represents, parts of Essex County, Washington County, Warren County, Saratoga County, Fulton County, very rural. There are a lot of homeless people in those communities that are outside of Glens Falls. You don't see them, you know, and it's but they're there.
You don't see it, you don't really hear about it too often, and those are often the biggest hurdles in those types of situations. How do you take someone that's living, you know, up near Chestertown or where God knows where in the Adirondacks, and find resources for them when they present as homeless or become homeless? Maybe they're not presenting anywhere. Maybe they're presenting at the local stewards.
Exactly.
It
can be very subtle, and a lot of times people can miss it. But they see it every day. They walk by it every day. They'll interact with that person every day, and they have no idea what the situation is. And so it's much more encompassing. It's much more complicated, and it's really in depth. The issue is much more in depth than we first think of it as.
Absolutely. It's super complicated, and so we have a housing first response, which it's my sort of perception that the current federal administration would be moving away from that, but I don't know anything specifically about that. It's just sort of me speculating.
Even though we're in the state legislature, contrary to popular belief, we don't know a whole lot about what's the internal workings of the federal government. They are separate, just as the state is separate from local government. So.
And I think there's other responses to homelessness, and there's very creative responses across the nation. Certainly there's, I'm aware of tiny house communities around Austin, which the climate change, it favors that type of community, that have been very successful. Which I think is a great construct. I'm a big proponent of therapeutic communities, and some do exist somewhat in New York State. I think of St. Christopher's down south by the city, which is really somewhat of a therapeutic community, but it's more of an inpatient treatment center. I was talking to a good friend of mine last night at midnight. She was out in San Francisco, and we were talking about therapeutic communities in Europe, and they have models where individuals are cared for holistically, they're given jobs and they earn in those spaces. And I would love to see a model like that come into New York State and really just be accessible to those that are facing especially severe and persistent mental illness.
Right.
Like, that is the model for them. Let's get them stabilized. Let's have them out in the community, being active, contributing, earning, and checking in regularly. And so we have that sort of contact point with them daily.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here for you. How you feeling today? So we can sort of monitor, how they're doing. And they certainly don't need to live in those spaces for the rest of their lives, but long-term stays would be really, I think, a real positive way to respond to the mental health crisis that we face in and around our communities.
Yeah, for some, I think, and I'm not familiar with the therapeutic communities you said.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I want to learn more about that, but as far as some individuals, they really do need that long-term.
Absolutely.
Partner, a coach. Just even if it is somebody they check in with, I think that really does go a long way. And with addiction, anybody who is either directly impacted by it or experiencing it, their family members, friends around them, they know it's a journey. It's not a permanent state. It is a daily. It's a daily battle. Some days are very, very difficult. Those days can stretch into weeks. Weeks can stretch into months.
Yep.
And having that coach or somebody to lean on long term, always being there, I think that would go a long way for a good portion of these people. But here again, that is just one part. That's one population within the greater population of homelessness.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting a full understanding of what it looks like in your community can help determine, okay, what is the best approach?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is it that long term? Is it a model like Open Door, which is successful? For those who want to
engage in that of growth and development.
Right.
I'm curious, since you mentioned you're a resident in Glens Falls, what is sort of your perception of homelessness in and around Glens Falls? Do you feel like it's been growing, or is it something that we just sort of see the worst things that are out there and we sort of base our judgments on those, or what do you think about it all?
As a resident, it's a great question. I think I've learned a little bit more about what homelessness can look like I said, over the last few years. And I wonder if it's just become more visible than it used to be. To say, has it grown? I think there are ways, I'm sure that there are metrics to look at to evaluate whether, yes, homelessness is increasing. But I just wonder if that number of total homeless individuals was relatively consistent all the way through, but is now just becoming more visible than it was. It's not as, why? I don't know. But it's certainly more visible in where we're sitting here. I know a few weeks ago there was the Veterans Suicide Awareness Walk. And I don't know if there were homeless individuals, but there was a good amount of individuals right here in this spot, participating in certain activities that most people wouldn't want their kids around.
Frowned upon,
And so I think when we look at that, I think that Glens Falls is an extremely compassionate community, genuinely. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, what your job is, your political hat. It's a very compassionate group of people that live in Glens Falls. But we just want to find a balance of how can we show that compassion to these individuals, but still maintain the best interests of the community at large. And it's never going to be a permanent state, wherever that balance is found. But I think we need to focus on that balance. It can't just be one way or another.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that balance is so essential to pursue. I certainly think there's trade-offs all along the way. I really wrestle after I'm part of the city task force for the day spenders, and we had a meeting last week, and I really wrestle with, frankly, and really transparently, and I'm a recovering addict. I wrestle with the drug laws, the current, and I said this to somebody else, I think this morning, that I feel they're permissive in nature. And I just think it really, the collective community, it affects the collective community.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, and so I hope that in certain instances we're very intentionally prioritizing the collective community. Like when it's right, like we need to put that out in front.
I agree wholeheartedly. Again, as a city resident, we are compassionate.
Yep.
And we realize that, I genuinely believe collectively we do realize that if there is somebody that they're, during a suicide awareness walk, and they're, again, participating in certain activities, that there's probably something else going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we don't necessarily want to be enabling either. And we don't want that type of behavior to maybe influence somebody, maybe young teenagers who they see that, and maybe they're misguided and they need guidance, but then they're gravitated towards that. And so what kind of ripple effect does that have on our kids and teenagers, families? Are they going to be engaging in walking down here? The library's right there. Cradle Library has tremendous children and family programming.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I love taking my son over there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great community asset.
Yep.
So again, it's that we need to have a little bit of balance. The pendulum can't be swung all the way over to this one approach to homelessness. But we can't necessarily just sweep them off the street and just say, get out of my sight, because that's not going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And that is not a compassionate approach to it.
No. Yeah, and I think, I think there's a couple ways to approach it. You can you could definitely take a both and approach, where you do have some very sort of real boundaries.
Yep.
And you have opportunities for individuals to step into redemptive, restorative efforts. With like a homeless court. Jason McLaughlin recommended that, like a homeless court. So if you have gotten these fines for loitering, you can pay the fines and be responsible for the fines in whatever way you choose to do that, or you can come into homeless court and explore restorative options.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's really, really a great way to sort of...
That's funny you mentioned that. That's the conversation came up with some friends of mine recently, and that very concept, and I think it's something that is I think it's worth looking at. From the city standpoint, I think we should look at that. And I know the city has a lot of resources. Don't get me wrong. They are very aware of the situation, and they have been for a long time. Because again, it's a pendulum.
Yeah.
The city is always responding to when they need to respond to it. But I think right now we just need to take another evaluation of where we're at with how we look at this, how we're handling it, and maybe maybe pivot a little bit.
Yeah. Take a deep breath and step back and try to take a fresh look at it. And I think that's what we're doing on the task force. And I'm really thankful that there are individuals that live in the city that are stepping up to share their voice. I think that's essential in the process, right?
We're all partners in this community. We're all neighbors. Whatever job we have, doesn't matter. Whatever neighborhood, first ward, fourth ward, third.
Sure.
It's just it's a city, but it's just a big neighborhood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we all have a good interest in seeing what those outcomes are going to be.
Yeah. Well, anything else you wanna talk about while we're here on the bench?
No, I just thank you for doing this. Because,
I appreciate you sitting down with me. Thanks.
Well, you're the one sitting down and waiting for been out here for almost 24 hours now.
And coming up on 23 here.
And having these conversations is probably the most important thing that we can do to addressing any issue.
Right.
Whether it's homelessness or something else.
Yeah.
Let's just talk to our neighbors.
Yeah.
Remember that they're our neighbors.
Yeah.
Remember we can talk to each other.
Yeah.
We're going to have some differences of opinion, but
Yeah.
you know, we're probably going to agree on most of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but we got to remember we can talk to each other.
Yeah, we can
So
talk
thank
to each
you.
other. We can find common ground.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, God bless you. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks again.
Yeah, good to see you.
All right.
Take care. All right. So Matt with Matt Simpson's office came over to join me. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
All right. Good luck for the rest of your day.
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah. Take care. All right. So we are getting along in the time. I see Derek looks fresh as the morning dew over there. You look fresh as the morning dew. Much like me, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm hoping that I'm hoping to, forgive me, I just answered a text from the board chair. I'm hoping to get a couple other stragglers, but I don't see a lot of folks. I'm hoping to pull my good friend Jeff in for an interview, for a conversation. I've already interviewed him and he's on staff at the mission. So I'm hoping to pull Jeff in for a conversation when he gets done with this current conversation. It's really not too hectic out here on the streets, is it?
What's that?
It's really not too hectic out here on the streets. No. It seems to have quieted down this afternoon a little bit. Knock on wood. But yeah. So give us a second. We'll try to pull Jeff in. Oh no, you
So-
sound fine. Yeah, you sound fine. How is her mic? Is it good?
Okay, good.
Great, great. So Jen?
Yep, Jen.
All right, Jamie.
So,
Yeah, good
yep.
to see you.
It's a struggle, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on?
Well, for the last 6 months or so, I've been outside underneath the trees and the bushes, wherever I could find. Had a little camp until somebody decided, oh, well, we don't want that there, so they sent the police down. Yep. They sent the police down and shut it down. When that happened, I wasn't at camp at the time, so the people that were turned around and scavenged camp and left me with nothing, so I had to start all over again. But I finally just got put up by DSS.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay, so you're in a hotel room?
I'm in a hotel room right now, yes. So,
And I certainly don't want to, I don't want to talk specifics about where you were. That doesn't really matter. I'm wondering, I guess, if you can back up to sort of talk about how you ended up camping. How did you end up getting into the camp?
just basically, I had an apartment. I lost it because my boyfriend died in my arms in the apartment, and the landlord evicted me because I used the rent money for the funeral. So I wound up homeless at that point. I've actually been homeless for the last 3 years, other than the 4-month period that I had that apartment. But basically, it's just a matter of finding where people don't generally go, finding something that's more hidden so you're not seen, making sure that you camouflage your stuff so that people don't see you, because a lot of people just don't look down upon the homeless very kindly. And so because of that, it makes it hard for us to be able to find places to go.
Yeah. So you feel it's like members of the community that sort of don't want to see it?
It's majorly members of the community.
Yeah.
They don't like seeing us hanging around town. They don't like seeing our encampments. I'm not gonna lie, some of the homeless, they are disgusting. They're dirty. They leave trash, and I understand that's the kind that you don't want, but they're associating all homeless to be that way, and it's not that way. There is some of us that try and pick up and try to just stay to ourselves, not cause trouble, because we're just looking for a safe place to be able to lay.
And I'm going to assume some things here, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like when you're trying to camp, and you're trying to do that away from others in a way that's quiet.
Yes, I always choose a location that's not near anything public. It's not near anything that people congregate around. It's usually in the woods. It's usually fairly well in the back. I usually try to keep it hidden. But of course, you want to try to help your other fellow homeless that you trust. But the problem is then your encampment gets too big, and that's how it gets noticed.
There's a tension there. So have you camped with other homeless individuals?
I have, actually. The last one that we were just booted out of was the one that I was camping with others. All right, thank you. So it's just there's a lot of us out here, though. We have each other's backs. We watch out for each other. If you don't have and we do, we share. And then there's just some of them out there. They're just, that they have extra, but they're just not willing. They're thinking of themselves, which is not a wrong thing to do, because I mean, you have to think about yourself, because if you give out too much, then you don't have enough for yourself.
Yeah, you have to go without.
And honestly, that's a lot of our problems, is we see somebody else that's in more need than we feel we are. So then we'll turn around and give the last of something that we probably really shouldn't have.
So there's a community within the community, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Some of the homeless turn around and say, we've made it this far together, let's stick together.
Yeah.
So some of us have that pact of, you've helped me out in this way, now it's my turn to help you out. Like when I had my car and stuff, and when I was at Open Door, I had more than most. So I turned around and I gave and I gave and I gave. And now that I was at a fairly low point, I noticed that, sorry.
No worries.
I noticed that the ones that I had helped are now helping me. So.
Remind me when you were at Open Door Mission. Was it Code Blue?
It was Code Blue, December 12th, actually, of last year.
Okay.
Until you guys closed this spring.
Yeah, so it was probably
So.
last April, somewhere April 20.
I think it was like May-ish, actually, because we had those couple of
went
cold
long.
weeks.
Yeah.
I think it was actually the beginning of May that you guys turned around and closed.
And what was that transition like when Code Blue closes?
Like, you mean when it closes for the season, or?
Yep.
It's definitely
for a night.
it's definitely a challenge, especially if you're unsure what the weather is.
Yep.
Some days can be nice like this, but cold.
Yep.
So you'd never really know, and if you don't have the proper equipment to be out here in it, then you know.
We're trying to get it.
They are. So I mean, if you don't have the right equipment and whatever, it's one of those situations where you know you just gotta try to make it through as best as you can, which can make it rough sometimes.
Yeah, is there anything else that you would want like the community to know about the whole of the situation, or yours?
Just to be a little bit more reasonable, a little bit more friendly with us, give us a little bit more leeway. We do understand, and I do understand again that not all of them are as kind as I can be, and not all of them are as good. So I know that there's the bad apples out there that give the rest of us the bad rep, and I get that, and I understand that. But just when you approach somebody, a little bit of kindness goes extremely far. You know, you have that somebody, you know, hey, look, this is my property. I really don't want you here. Can you pick up and move? You know, that kind of approach is a lot better than, hey, you ain't supposed to be here, you know, and getting all hostile, and then that gets us hostile. And then it just winds up into a bad situation.
Yeah, if we can speak to each other like adults with an
Absolutely
attitude
like
of
adults,
understanding.
because like a lot of them do not.
Yeah.
And like I said, I understand that a lot of them don't, because there are the bad eggs out there, and I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. So
I would even say though, even with the bad eggs, it's still our responsibility. It's my responsibility when I approach a person to speak to them like an adult.
it would be nice if people would turn around and do that. It would be a lot easier, because you won't see as many people freak out or get mad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of the homeless would then turn around and be a little bit kinder, because they're being shown kindness.
Yeah.
When we're already having a tough enough time out here.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm hoping that you know, you get what you need, and you know Code Blue is going to be opening up again here soon. So we're there to serve you. So, all right.
I appreciate it.
Jen, it was great talking to you.
You too. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you so much.
Well, that was Jen, someone that's been in and out of homelessness for a little while. So sad to hear a story about her significant other passing away. And it's often the case that there is some tragedy that really leads to a hard situation, a situation where people are left to navigate the system. And glad to hear she's inside now in a hotel. So soon we're going to have, I think, Jeff join us. I do see a couple people walking around. I'm hoping we can get a couple more interviews as we close up here. Yeah, so we'll be back in a second. All right, welcome back, everyone. I am on the bench here with Jeff Tennyson, a good friend of mine from Open Door Mission. It's good to see you.
You too, man.
Yeah,
You're holding up well, so that's awesome.
Appreciate the vote of confidence. I don't feel great, but yeah, I think I'm gonna make it. Yeah, so Jeff and I have worked alongside of each other for the last few years at the mission. Jeff is our shelter manager, and I want to start by asking you what brought you to the mission.
You know, long story short, I kind of got to a point where I wanted to marry my faith with my profession, and this was the obvious choice. And I started volunteering at Open Door. Met a lot of great people at Open Door. Got reconnected to my faith and church, and then it was kind of just opportunity came up and I jumped on it, and then the rest is history, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, you stepped into the role, and you've done. It's been awesome to see you grow in the role. Has human services, social services been anything you've ever done?
I mean, only from the management perspective, like, so, yeah. So,
leading
yeah, exactly. And for through the Army and the county and everything else, like, that was always, personnel was the biggest lift, always, no matter what.
Yeah, sure.
Same for the Army. The most important aspect, or the most important thing in the Army is people.
Yeah.
Large organizations, the most important thing is always people. And so, from the standpoint of dealing with people, been doing it a long time from that perspective.
So, what do you like about the work? What sort of touches your heart or keeps you going?
Certainly the victories. You know, we talk a lot about like the struggles that we try and help people through. Some of them, continue to struggle, but then, man, we get to victories. The victories are like, and you're like,
thank you, Jesus.
Like, exactly, and you're like, and so we've seen a bunch of the guys here, like, that have stopped by, overnight, and we see them at the shelter that come back in, and they're like total victories and such a huge change in their lives. And how else does that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, but through Christ. And those are the things, and there's lots of, it's a roller coaster ride, honestly. We've talked about it. It's a roller coaster ride working at the shelter.
Yep.
And there's a lot of times where it's very difficult. So we support each other on staff. But man, those victories are powerful.
They are. Yeah, and we've been celebrating a lot of those victories over the last 24 hours. Tell me one of your favorite stories, and certainly you don't need to name names, but yeah, tell us a story about someone who just overcame adversity.
I can tell you, like, there's been so many, and it's, we've got guys at the shelter right now that are on the cusp of moving out, and you almost don't want them to move out. You're like, no. You're like, no, you can't move out. No.
Yeah.
And then I always have the same conversation with them. I'm like, you better visit us. We are open for lunch every day but Sunday.
Yeah.
And like, you better come. If you do not visit, like I saw like your interview with Billy last night, which was awesome. And I told him the same thing, and we've got some that are ready to move out, and it's like, you better come visit. And they do. And it's awesome when they come back and visit, and you're like, and you see them walk in, and you can just tell that they're healthy, and they've got a smile on their face, and they're doing great. It's like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Those moments are awesome.
You form, and I'm going to use this word, and I want to use it cautiously, but you do form some type of attachment with the individual, right? And you want to keep it healthy, certainly. Yeah. And I certainly think you can. And you want to continue to foster that and grow that. Like, that's all good. And
yeah, but I'm with you 100%. Yes, 100%. There are barriers, boundaries, but at the same time, a lot of our residents, when they're there and they're doing well, they leave feeling like we're family, and they're our family. You know, really, they really are. So it's mutual. We really love them. We want the best for them. So when they're doing well, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question about just your thoughts about the mission and how we're positioned within the community. Just your perception, sort of like as an organization, like how are we positioned in the community? Where do you sort of envision the mission going, or what would you hope to see?
I think right now, what I've seen since I started there 3 years ago and then left for about a year to take care of my mom, and when I came back, I could already see the difference where I think we're out there in the community. I think we are, to some agencies, we are the go-to. We might be the first call for them to, like, hey, we have somebody, what can you do? And we might not be able to take somebody immediately, but we can point them in the right direction. And I think that's a difference that maybe a few years ago, it wasn't, maybe it was more of just knowledge of the community, but I think we're like really well integrated with the community, and agencies know who we are. I think people come up to Glens Falls knowing we're here, you know, frankly, and maybe that's increased some of the numbers up here. I think people come up here knowing we're here. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's a good thing, though, that we're a known resource. I see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's taken some time, I think, for the community to get to know us and know what we do. And I really do think we have our footprint pretty well established in the community. And yeah, that's been a huge blessing to be able to do that, and for people to call upon us for assistance and all of that stuff. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think about this event?
It's been awesome. I was watching all night last night until I finally said, I got to go to bed. My dog's like, are you going to bed or not? I'm like, all right, I got to go to bed. Yeah. I think I was up until midnight or 1 o'clock. And then I think eventually I was listening. I just put my phone on my charger next to my bed and fell asleep. Yeah. But like last night, the interviews, like especially from the prior residents, and current residents, they were like, they were so powerful. Yeah. And, you know, that's why we do it. Yeah. I mean, there's no better reason to do it than like those. I mean, you can't help but get emotional, like really with like the transformation that we see. Yep. Yeah. It's not just nuts and bolts. It's just awesome transformation. So I think, I don't know what you think, but you'll come back next year.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's really incredible. Like, this is an incredible event, and I'm glad that City Gate Network has done what they've done with the event and really pushed it out there. I think it's powerful. I can't wait for the prayer in just about an hour here, I think. And I think this has a profound impact. I would say it probably even goes beyond nationally and goes out globally. Just because of the way God works and how good He is to us and how He magnifies things like this in amazing ways.
Yeah, I think it's just going to get bigger and better from here. And the community, you know, like walking through, and we've had so many people stop, some of which have just been wandering through. Yep. Like Matt McDonald, when he came through, he was just wandering through. Yeah. And I said hi to him. I'm like, he's like, what's going on here? He's like, next thing you know, he's, you know, and people grabbing hot dogs, and I mean, it's been really awesome. I know last night was cold, but the weather like was beautiful, and yeah, I just see it growing from here. I think this is our first toe in to this. And
there's always hurdles that first go around.
Yeah, but everything's been going great. Yeah. And I think it's just going to grow from here. I think it's going to be bigger and better each year going forward. That's what I think.
Agreed.
Like, how could you not do this again next year, right? Like, how could you not do this again? It was awesome.
The community loves it, at least. Seems that way. I don't think there's been any criticism of it or anything like that.
And you know, certainly there's a lot of the, you know, unsheltered stuff is very front and center.
Yep.
But let's be front and center. How much more front and center can we be? Like, we're sitting on a bench. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
So exactly. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
we welcome conversations, and this goes beyond the bench. I'll say that to the community. Like, we welcome conversations. We want to have conversations. I prefer not to have those conversations on social media.
True.
For tons of reasons, and I think
yeah.
they're very good. Let's have in-person conversations. Let's talk. Let's call each other. Let's talk about the issues as they are. Let's meet in City Hall or down at the Mission or down at Burger King or wherever you want, and let's talk.
Right, but I think this is a great starting point for those frank conversations.
Yeah.
Like, to just say, like, here's what's going on, here's what we're doing, here's how our residents feel, here's, you know, and it's a great starting point. I've already got a bunch of names and numbers just from community members coming through, and so yeah, it's been great. It's been really awesome.
Thanks for joining us on the bench, and thanks for all the work you've done at the Mission.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to the future.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Take care.
God bless, man.
Good job, man.
So Jeff Tennyson, our shelter manager. Really a privilege to talk to him. We'll see who's coming up next. We tried to reel some folks in, and we got no's. That's okay. If people aren't comfortable with joining me, I certainly understand that. So we'll take a quick break. We'll wait on some more guests, and we do have the national broadcast at 2:45. So tune in for that prayer.
all of your staff.
Oh my goodness. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm the executive director of the Whitaker Community Council, and the council forms an interesting kind of duality role in the Whitaker, the neighborhoods that surround us. We've been a nonprofit for over 50 years, and we also are a recognized city neighborhood association. So having those two roles gives us a very direct input and ability to seek instrumental change in a lot of the co-related work that we're doing. So it has been amazing to have that partnership with you on some of the storms we have weathered thus far.
We have indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. So Whitaker Community Council and the Whitaker neighborhood as a whole is extraordinarily active. I'm hoping the community, the broader community knows that, but this group, this neighborhood has really coalesced around challenges. And
it sure has. It's really a focal point for, as a former chair used to say, we have the most challenges, but they become the brightest aspects.
Yeah. Problem solving and people coming
Right.
together and really working hard.
It's true. It's true. There's so much community around making important change. And then at the same time, there's vibrant art. There's some of the best food in Eugene.
Yes, yes.
There's the sweetest neighborhoods. So
And there's a chicness. I've always thought. No, there is.
There
I mean,
is.
there's a personality to the Whitaker neighborhood that is so unique and special in Eugene.
I would agree.
Truly.
It's really sweet here.
Truly. So, Doriandra, I was hoping you could also help me tell a story of a mission and a community, a neighborhood, and how we can be really good partners and how things even have changed over time. And I want to be completely transparent. And so we learn and we grow and hopefully we always serve better. But going back in time, again, very transparent, there was a certain amount of tension between the Whitaker neighborhood and the mission, and concerns about individuals who would be along our very active street along Chambers, and conversations being had about our day services, etc. And were you part of any of that? And the Whitaker neighbors were reaching out and talking to us about, hey, you know, don't forget the neighborhood. There are impacts on the service and the individuals. We too have a heart for individuals suffering on the street, but a desire to open that dialogue. Do you recall that period of time?
I sure do. When I came on board with the council in 2021, you could feel a real nascent tension there.
Yeah.
And it was almost, it seemed divided about simply the care and, as you said, the kind of spilling over. But there was also a little bit of resistance toward the faith-based method that the mission is so stalwart on. And understanding personally how faith moves mountains, and that sometimes we just have to fall into that space of accepting a higher grace than us. I think that the misperceptions potentially in the Whitaker just needed to be embraced through partnership, because everybody has a different modality as we work through trauma, and if we can all collectively recognize and join hands, then that would be mitigated. So there's a lovely woman, Thea Lee, who was on the board then, and she's been in the Whitaker for 30 years, and I remember she called and she said, we should go talk to Cheryl about this pandemic coming and what we could do. And so having that opening at that time, and just, you know, we were in that building at the hub, and we had free pizzas and music and co-location of other health services. I think that really opened the door to look at all of us holistically and say, no matter how we get to places, that our end goal is really the same. And I think that was a huge change.
Yeah, and you know, at that same time, with you and Thea and others, there was this openness to dialogue. And yes, there was the tension with some in the community about us being faith-based and having a perception of, are you welcoming to various folks? And I was so grateful to have the space to let us come talk and tell you everyone is welcome. I mean, being willing to let us have that conversation and to give us the benefit of the doubt and to experience that, and even to come and tour the mission and learn more about where we are today as a mission, and even, as time went on, how our services were changing that would ameliorate, I think, a lot of the concerns in the neighborhood, where we were shifting from day services to a very, very vibrant, stay on campus and just really plug in type approach.
Right, and it's so apparent too, and I think that the R3 program presents such an interesting other way for people to also integrate into health and move away from recidivism.
Yeah.
And that's been the part that the Whitaker Community Council, my board and community members have been so excited about as we've been working on this partnership through our Healthy Homes grant, and so having your folks out just being their bright, beautiful selves and digging in to make changes has been really nice. So that I think the two parts of how you serve your campus are really so smart and
thank you,
really lovely.
I think all the glory to God in all true humility is that it's really a great case study of how there have been tensions, and instead we've come together and served. And again, I think the broader community has benefited, where I know that we feel very supported by the Whitaker neighborhood. I was just talking with another guest about our, Adopt-A-Block program. Our guests absolutely delight in going out and doing cleanup and engaging and helping neighbors in the Whitaker, and being able to give back and participate and be welcomed. I mean, that is incredibly empowering and dignifying. And the kind words that Whitaker neighbors say about the mission to sometimes a broader community that also is not always as understanding that a faith-based organization is going to be open to all people. And while we are firmly grounded in our faith, we want people to know that they're welcome, and we're not expecting that of the people that come to our door.
Right.
It has been a journey.
It has.
And it's been great to do our joint projects and to have that cross-pollination. And you are, by the way, are doing a fantastic job in your role there, and you've been taking on greater and greater responsibility.
And we need to talk.
And no small task
thank you
there.
for taking the time and coming out and being that face.
Yeah,
of
we're
encouragement.
just really pushing forward in ways.
God bless
that,
you, man, and take care.
I think if we look at our unhoused population and the struggles they have,
awesome.
I believe that as a council we understand that housing is healthcare. Housing is mental health.
I don't know which mic you want.
It's integration back into culture and joy. And so the portfolio of grants that I keep pushing for are very much related to housing.
I'm hanging in there. Which one
we want to see, as your groups come out of this healing space and into, I want there to be more lovely, safe, energy efficient, affordable options for them to go to.
My last 50 minutes, I cannot do math.
Pushing in that direction, we really create a ripple effect, and I hope that it moves outwards into the city so that we can just keep rising together.
Welcome back.
Because it's hard. It's really hard to, people I think assume that homelessness sometimes is a choice or can be easily bystepped, and it's until you've been in those shoes.
Absolutely.
It is a terrifying way, and to just be told so flippantly, like, oh, this or that, it really has never worked. So I'm so proud of the work you do in that you're healing holistically. You're like Beth's charcuterie boards and
aren't those
all the amazing cooking and
the charcuterie boards are very healing.
Oh, they are. They are when I get to eat them too. But all those steps just leading back to a holistic space, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm proud to be your partner.
Oh, I love that. And when we have Whitaker here, again, it's another opportunity for guests to see this is how neighborhoods gather.
Right.
This is how neighborhoods resolve issues and vote. And it's bringing that sense of community engagement here so that guests can experience it in a safe place and support hosts, etc. Those are gold. Those are gold. And I'm hoping too that the Whitaker residents that are interacting with us, we are blessed to have these individuals in our community, and let's
Recording
welcome
in
them
progress.
and find places for them in employment, in any number of spaces.
Yeah,
So
it's true. The feedback we've received from some of the incredible team that shows up. Your volunteer Jack shows up with tools and great big smiles. And
they are so energized.
Some of the seniors that were so grateful to receive that work were just so motivated and excited and just felt like, wow, there's real big change here. And so we've received incredible feedback from the participants.
Good.
I know we're just finally getting into the work with the healthy homes. It's been a little bumpy as all new projects are, but the contractors that are out doing those healthy home upgrades just so enjoyed working with your staff and team.
Thank you.
So every project is just another golden moment.
Yeah, and there will be so many additional opportunities. So I'm looking forward to those. And I know our guests, like I said, have really been blessed by these opportunities. So again, when some of the conversations we were having earlier with other folks was a concern about siloing and about a concern of isolation of entities serving. And I like to give the community an example of, hey, that's not always happening. Sometimes we're pulling together, and this can be an encouragement, and this can be an example of just really candid conversations about what's working, what's not working, what's in that Venn diagram of where we can really, really accomplish great things.
Yes.
And we don't have to be cookie cutters. We don't have to, it's beautiful to have some divergence of thought and experience. And
true.
Yeah.
So true.
Certainly not cookie cutters.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a better person to end with this incredible journey of conversations than you, Doriandra, because I feel like you were kind of at the front end of a lot of conversations that I've had with the broader community. So you are almost a symbol of what it means to have good conversations and the good that can come of it. And I'm hoping all of you have been blessed as well. And I encourage you all to, again, come and take a tour. Get to know the good work that the Whitaker Community Council is doing. And Doriandra, it's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. I'm just honored to be here and to be your last guest. It's so nice.
Thank you so much.
Cheryl.
Thank you so much. Okay, wow, this might be the most difficult transition I've done yet, because now I don't have any more conversations. Now we're going to be concluding our event, and we have a really fun video that's going to look back on the behind the scenes here. And I'm going to want to see it because I haven't seen the behind the scenes. So please stay put. It's about 5 minutes, and then we're going to have some closing remarks. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, we're not.
Now you're up.
Now we're up. All right, I love it. I love it. So this has been quite a journey. I think we've got one last individual who's joining us. Really appreciate you coming down, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. So tell us how you landed at Open Door Mission, if you don't mind.
I will be raw with it actually, but relationship issues.
Okay.
I went through might get emotional, but
went through a breakup, so it kind of pushed me here. I basically took the fall by like letting them stay in the apartment, letting them have the apartment, and that's basically the only reason that I'm here. Is I went through a bad relationship. Before that, it was already bad before this last relationship because I was married, and that went downhill. So, but most notably is the relationship that currently just recently failed. So that's why I'm here, just trying to kind of rebuild and yeah.
What's your experience been? Actually, before I ask you the broad question, like what was the first day like at Open Door Mission?
Very emotional.
Sure.
I was kind of nervous, being new people, the surroundings. So I was really quiet always, I was for a good bit actually since I've been here, but the first day, I was extremely quiet, not knowing what to expect. So, I guess it's normal for everybody to kind of go through that because you're not sure of like how people are going to treat you or anything like that. Not saying, anything negative about it, but it's definitely been an experience, but it was definitely a lot of uncertainty and just not knowing what to expect.
Yeah. What's been your experience? How's it been at Open Door Mission?
I do feel like it has been a positive experience. One of the main reasons I will just say is, it gives me a chance to kind of rebuild. It gives me a place to sleep, eat,
consistency.
The consistency, and just trying to kind of just slowly rebuild myself from where I was before, like just kind of, because I will say one thing about it too, is I never envisioned myself as being homeless. That is one thing that I can say. But I think also what that's also taught me is that if I can push through this, I'll be able to push through anything.
Yeah.
So
you're actually building resilience.
Yes.
Yeah,
at times I do have my down moments when it comes to that, but I do try my hardest to stay on point, stay on focus. Like, some things have been a little challenging at times, especially in the beginning, like getting used to the routine of when we have to wake up and things like that. And
structure.
Yeah. But I understand why it's there. It's just, I know what it's like to have that freedom of not having to do those things. So it's also kind of like it takes a lot to getting used to.
I know a lot of people struggle with that because they're used to the freedom, the liberty of I wake up when I want to wake up and I go to sleep when I want to go to sleep. So this makes no sense. Like having to be up at a certain time and then out of bed by a certain time and then quiet by a certain time at night. All of that is super challenging.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, tell me I want to talk like on a personal level. What do you like to do? What do you like? What do you enjoy in life?
I am currently I can tell you what I like. Occasionally, occasionally I do like video games. That's just a thing. It's not something I do often at all, but it's more of a every once in a while type thing. But I also like to go for walks. I'm constantly walking. And it's
always on the
it's always like I notice that people even around there, they all see me walking constantly. I've even shown some people, like one day I just to go look job hunting one day, instead of like doing the online applications that they always tell you. Some places I was just walking to in downtown Glens Falls and stuff, but I figure I'm walking all this time, so why not walk to be productive? So I started doing that because one, I have a disability and I have to keep my legs going. Otherwise you stop using it and you lose it. So yeah, I like to pretty much walk the trails. It's generally where I go when I do go for walks. I'll go walk the trails. Watch movies occasionally, but yeah, there's not really a lot that I do. I'm actually more introverted, so I'm not as out there. I don't really do well with like socializing, like in big groups, things of that nature. Like
I think it's really just, you know, I don't think I'm overstating here. Like, I think it's inspirational that you like to walk.
Yeah.
You know, like that's awesome that you're fighting through that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've got to move, and this is a challenge for me to move.
Yeah.
But I'm fighting through that, and I'm going to go after it and do it.
But that's another thing is where I kind of saw where once I got here to the mission, it kind of also put it into perspective for me as far as like my relationship went. It might be a little interesting that I'm going to tell you this, but it's because it kind of changed my outlook on like how we treat other people relationship wise.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like one of those things you don't know what you have until it's gone type things, and then you kind of get to realize like, you know, what's going on, what you need to do. So it's actually helped me like build my confidence in myself to do better. So that's also something that I've been, you know, working on, and therapy's been helping a lot. It's helped me through this too. So, but I would say that it's been fairly positive. You know, like I said, I do have my down moments from being there, but I feel like that's completely normal, not something, you know, it's just being used to having everything and then just kind of like having nothing.
It's great that you recognize that there was growth in the face of the adversity that you had to deal with, and the separation and all of that.
Yeah.
Like on the backside of that, I was able to look. You were able to look back on it and say, "Hey, like these are things that maybe I could do better. Maybe, you know, I could be better at."
And then also, I'm currently looking for a job again. But
what do you want to do
while I'm doing that, well, for me, retail work, like as long as I can keep moving, like stocking or something like that, I'm fine. I can't really do assembly line where I'm standing in one spot because of the disability. Just doesn't like to be still.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could do something like that, but I've been working like in trying to learn like coding and stuff for computers.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I've been doing here lately.
Yep.
Like when you guys do see me out with my laptop, that's either what I'm doing. I'm currently on the 15th. I'm gonna start my GED testing.
Awesome.
So
yeah, you told me that.
So that's gonna kind of open up, you know, that's gonna kind of open up the door for other jobs too.
Yeah.
And
what kind of coding are you considering?
There's so much. I've looked into Python. Python is actually one of the languages that I am learning for coding.
Okay.
And that's because I'm kind of, I know.
Whoa.
It's, basically what I was trying to go for, or what I'm trying to shoot for, is cybersecurity.
Okay. Yeah.
So they basically like keep attackers out and things of that nature. So that's basically what that is. I know.
That's great, man.
Yeah, I know. It goes over a lot of people's heads. I talk to people about it, and they're like, I have no idea what you're.
I'll never go there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad some people do, because we need it. You know, we see it at the mission. We see emails getting hacked and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
like pretty frequently. And so that's got to be, you know, a field where there's jobs, right?
Yeah, well, definitely. But that's why I'm also going for my GED, because a lot of them require that.
Yep.
And you know, that would also push me into having to go to college for a couple of years to get the degree. Which
cool. Yeah.
I think I looked it up. I think it's only 2 or 4 years. So that's not that long, really.
Yeah.
For something like that. And
I've actually had a few people. I've actually had a few people in my life that have been kind of inspiring me to just keep going.
Cool.
Like So.
Yeah, those are the people you want to surround yourself with. You want to really,
definitely.
make sure that you got all of that going. That's super cool. I wish you all the best in all of that. And I certainly think you're capable. How do you feel about going to do the GED?
I'm optimistic about it. I've been doing my practicing and stuff, so I feel like it's gonna, you know, by spring I should have the whole thing, because they do it in sections.
Okay.
So it's not the whole test at once.
Yeah.
So by springtime I should have it.
Yeah.
I'm really shooting for it, because I know this is temporary. That's the one thing that I'm also looking at, is that it's temporary. Just
I feel like it's in reach.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Anything else you want folks to know about anything across the board?
Except for the fact that you guys are very welcoming. That's another thing that I didn't expect.
Yeah. What did you? I'm curious.
Well, not.
Maybe a little more hard, or?
No, I mean, well, I don't really know because you know you hear about places all the time where you could have some staff members and stuff that are like completely different between other staff members, but the staff that's there seems pretty solid. So.
That's awesome. I love to hear that the staff is solid, and I believe that we do have a really healthy culture there. We're certainly not perfect people. Yeah. And we don't really strive to be perfect. On our best days, we don't strive to be perfect. We strive to be, people.
Yeah, definitely. We're all people, so
it's normal people who, admit our flaws and try to be healthy. Well, I'm glad you joined us at the mission.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see you sort of get along at the mission and do pretty well. We're here for you. We'll continue to be here for you, and we don't. I hope you know that we don't want to rush you along in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, definitely.
We want you to work at your pace as long as you're moving forward. Like we'll sit in that space with you and move forward at your pace.
Yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Sounds good.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming down.
Yep.
All right, man. We'll get you off the mic. We'll be back in just a second. We'll lead into the national broadcast. I may get Lauren up here just to talk with me a couple minutes before we shut down. Thanks. All right, thanks, bro. Yeah, good to see you.
You're welcome.
All right, we good to go? Awesome. So I am joined by Lauren Kreider, our development director. What was your conversation with Kaylee like? I totally missed that. I was off having a breakfast sandwich at noon.
Yeah, we talked it up.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for talking it up.
We talked all about volunteers, how incredible they are, how it means $2 million a year to the mission, which obviously we don't have, we couldn't pay.
Nope.
So volunteers are the reason why we do what we do and are able to be here. We talked about what opportunities are out there right now. So of course we have Code Blue volunteers, and we always have the welcome desk. That position usually needs a volunteer or two.
Yep.
And orientations tomorrow, volunteer orientation tomorrow, and then once a month.
Yeah.
So you can sign up at any time.
Yeah.
It can look like once a week, once a month, twice a year.
Yeah. If you're
whatever
thinking about that at all, I would encourage you to take an hour out of your Saturday and come down to the orientation, and you can ask questions and you can get a tour of the mission if you haven't seen the mission. You can get to know us. I would really encourage that. That's quite an opportunity.
Yeah.
And even if you're on the fence or you're not even, not sure, come down and join.
It's only an hour.
It's Kaylee, right?
Right, it's Kaylee.
Yeah, okay. Just
9 to 10, once a month on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So not a big amount of time away, just to learn a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And we talked about our appreciation for donors and how pretty much the mission is supported by our private donors all over this community.
Yeah.
And how incredibly grateful we are that folks have it in their heart to donate to us. And then we talked a little bit about some of our events.
Oh, cool.
Talked about Gobble Wobble coming up, Bella Notte coming.
I heard you mention Bella Notte. Yep.
Yeah. So some of those.
That would be a great opportunity to get a great meal. I haven't even been in the seasoned kitchen and dining room there.
I haven't at the new place. I did culinary at a couple culinary classes at ACC.
Okay.
So I've actually, and they're one up on Bay Road, and they mean business.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
These guys, they really can cook. It is quite the menu.
That's awesome.
Yeah, wine pairing with each course, and it's an Italian menu.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so we're coming into winter here. We're sort of navigating through fall, and this has really been our first real taste of fall, I think, over the last couple days. But I would encourage those of you who are considering Open Door Mission as your end of year gift to step into that, step into relationship, partnership with the mission. We will absolutely honor your donation, your contribution, and we do what we can in every instance to serve the folks that we serve with dignity.
And one of the great choices about donating, if you choose to Open Door Mission, is that you can actually say, I would like it to go towards this.
Yeah.
So if you have something that's in your heart and that's part of your donation plans, I want it to go towards food or shelter or domestic violence, we will do that. We take that very seriously.
Absolutely.
And we will earmark that money for that specific program. And we're happy to do that. Clothing, whatever it is that's on your heart, could be one of our building campaigns that we have going on right now, like at the chapel or the laundry or something like that.
Yeah, the mental health clinic. Yeah, those capital campaigns, if that's something you're interested in, please just earmark those things specific, and we will honor that 100%. I would encourage you, if you want to see the spaces that we're going to be building in, come on down and get a tour with Lauren or I or both of us, and just see the space, get eyes on it, and really get a sense of what it is.
Right.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but we got our building permit.
We got our yay, building permit.
So we're going to be starting construction. We're going to be starting construction very soon in the basement.
Yay.
So that has been a hurdle. And it's great to have that. It's great to get that message. So we'll celebrate that. Looking to finish the fundraising for that basement project. We've got just a little ways to go for the basement project. So really looking to just put the finishing touches on that, and trusting that God will provide the resources through the people He guides to Open Door Mission. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very exciting about that. To get the building permit. Yeah. So we have those building programs. We have all of our programs. Any information anybody wants, definitely come down. We have our audit every year and the audit report right on our website. We're very transparent about how we spend all of our funds, and welcome any questions about any of that.
Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about your experience. What's the one thing that sticks out to you about this event, these last hours? What's sort of the one thing that was like, wow, that moment or that conversation or that statement?
You know, I knew this, but I think that this was really kind of drove it home, is the difference of opinion about why homelessness exists and what we should be doing about it.
Yeah.
You know, the difference of it's because of this reason or this reason, and we know it's way more complex than a reason.
Yeah.
It's so many different things go into it. But we had folks coming up and saying to us, stop doing anything and you should be doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
that full
just
spectrum.
the difference of opinion, or yes, the full spectrum out there, and how do we come together and make decisions about real solutions. And it's not going to be for everyone.
Yep.
We'll always have, you know, maybe some homeless.
Yep.
But we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And you know, what's the right way to do that? The right way to give people dignity.
Yeah.
They have to make their own decision.
Yep.
And it's good for the community. You know, we love this community and we want it to see it sustainable.
Yeah.
And I think that's where those opinions come from, is because other people love this community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I think everyone, most at least, have a heart for the community and want to see things get better if they're perceiving that things are broken. People want to see things get better, and that's admirable. I think we need to do that together. I don't think there's certainly not a quick fix, and I don't think there's an absolute fix for all of these issues. We haven't arrived as a service provider, as Open Door Mission hasn't even arrived. I mean, we're talking about building projects that we're going to get into in the coming months. And we certainly haven't arrived as a collaborative partners with other agencies in the community. We still have work to do there, so we can build in those spaces. But I would really discourage that all or nothing thinking. Yeah,
right.
That doesn't take into account the realities that the folks are facing. It takes a posture of we know what's best. So yeah, I would encourage you to stay open to the issues, how they really truly are. Continue to learn as a community together about the issues, the complexity of the issues that we talk about all the time, how complex they are, and continue to support your local social service agencies. And we had so many of them: Catholic Charities, Salvation Army were here today. We had the Wade House, of course, and Ascend Mental Wellness, and I'm sure I'll forget someone. And we work with Baywood Center, and BHSN was mentioned. And there's just so many family services we talked about, community action up the road, our church partners, right? Our church partners, Stephanie from the Baptist Church came by, and Andy and Doug from Pine Knolls Alliance and Gospel Lighthouse Church, respectively, came by. Step into those spaces and support those partner agencies and faith-based and churches and faith-based agencies like we are. Step into the space you want to. Go ahead.
That just makes me think, because I did have somebody ask me earlier about giving money to people that they see on the streets, and hear you say that. I would say choose one of those organizations.
Yeah.
Not to give money to folks on the street.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. Give it to an organization, whatever organization meets your beliefs in your heart. And there's several of them in this community. You mentioned the Wade House, Salvation Army. There's us. There's the churches. Give to them, please. Not a great idea to give it to the folks on the street, and that's exactly what I said to that person.
Yeah, I think that's wise. I understand the pull, believe me, and I've given people money on the streets, not large amounts of money, but I've passed along somebody $1 because I believed they were going to buy a coffee or something like that. I would say if there's an opportunity for you to, support an individual on a one-on-one basis, they are asking for something, maybe just a coffee or a meal, buy them the coffee or the meal and sit with them for a little while. Get to know them if they're willing to, if they're open to that. Get to know them a little bit, at least ask them their name, and buy those things directly for them. That said, all our organizations have meals. We have meals at Open Door. There are other organizations. Salvation Army has dinners Tuesday. There's a hometown Thanksgiving. Lots of organizations. I know First Pres does a dinner each week. So lots of organizations do those things. There are food pantries, multiple food pantries throughout the community. Support the organizations doing the work. And it's just so much healthier that way.
Right.
And certainly, if your heart leads you to whatever organization it leads you to, go there and do that. I'm not advocating solely for Open Door Mission, but yeah.
We have several good organizations in this area.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about the greater Glens Falls area is the collaboration between us. Our front lines really do work well together and call on each other for the area that they need help in. So,
any closing thoughts before we sort of navigate into the national broadcast? And so we're going to do prayer nationally, which is awesome.
That's great.
An awesome honor.
Would say call us or come by for a tour. Give us a call. You can ask for me, Lauren, Kaylee, Sarah, Jamie. We'd love for you to come see the mission. We find that when people actually are at the mission, they're so surprised at the amount of services that we have. And if we don't have the service, it's because there's an expert partner in the community that does, and that will connect you with them. But usually folks come in and say, I had no idea that you did that too. And we'd like you to come see what's available.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the only thing I'd like to close with is just a plea for those who don't have a relationship with God through Jesus to consider that. The reality of his person, the reality of his deity. I would ask you to consider that, because as you've heard, if you've listened to the last 24 hours, there is healing in the name of Jesus. And whatever you're facing, whether you perceive it to be small or large, he can take that on, and he can lead you through that. And he can do the mighty work that he promises to do on your heart and mind. So I would ask you to consider that. I would ask you to prayerfully consider that. What does it look like to follow after Jesus? What does it look like to receive Jesus and just take on a relationship with God through him? I think that is the most important thing. With everything else that we've discussed in the background, that is the most important thing, is just being open to him, who he is, here, now, today, and how he can provide for you. So I would encourage you to do that if you haven't. And if you call yourself a follower of Jesus, a Christian, yeah, he's calling you somewhere. Listen to that voice for sure. We've got 2 people sitting here who listened, and he's blessed us immensely. He's challenged us immensely, for sure. The blessing is in the challenge, and he provides in that space too. So, yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going to ease into the national broadcast here in about 5 minutes. I would encourage you to stay tuned for this. This is going to be an awesome time of prayer that occurs nationally, across the nation. Gospel Rescue Missions organizations, much like ours, will be stepping into prayer together. So I see Jarrell already on my screen. Super excited, yep. Yeah, to share.
That his love dwells in us. And that's why I like this bench conversation and other things, because it gives us the opportunity to demonstrate what that looks like. Even in this small group here, we have people of different backgrounds, different denominations, different stories, and yet we're called together as one family here at Light of Life. We work together, we cry together, we have joy together, because we are called to be a body, and we're modeling what John 17 is about. And like I said, often, in many ways, we have the opportunity to do this here even more so than our own church. Because in our church, we're around people who at least have the same theology, or they have the same belief structure. But here we have people who have different belief structures, but we still say, we're not going to allow that to separate us. We're going to be together. So that's a beautiful thing. And I'm so honored that we get a chance to do this together. So is there anything else that anybody else has that we want to share about what this vision looks like? Hello over there. Well, again, thank you for your support during all this time. I could not have done this without the support of all the people who volunteered, who brought me coffee, who encouraged me, gave me a fist bump, and all those things. Just thank you for that. And I think we're going to be going to the national feed because there's going to be a group prayer, and we're going to join them in that prayer, hopefully. And if not, then we'll have our own prayer and go from here. Who ordered this? Yeah, the train would show up at different times. It's very unique. Be careful.
So I just wanted to add, because I'm behind the scenes.
Oh, good.
So I just wanted to add that when Jesus said to his disciples to go into the uttermost parts of the earth, he said, go basically and tell them that it's me. And I think that Light of Life Rescue Mission, we do our best to go in him
Mm.
and to go with him. And when this glass broke, I was thinking about how he was broken for us.
Yeah.
And that he was bruised for our iniquities and chastised. And our peace was upon him. That's our passion in rescue missions.
Mm-hmm.
That we recognize the brokenness that Christ suffered for us and how we also were broken. And when we look at Roy Rogers' philosophy and how to be a good neighbor, realize that you were once broken and someone else's once is broken. And we're called to, as you often say, reconciliation.
They're calling Pittsburgh on that.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
so glad. I was trying to waste time.
Yep. All right.
Okay, we can have.
Okay.
See you guys.
Yes, okay.
Shouldn't have 3.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. 1 minute. So we're waiting for 1 minute. Final countdown. We can make it. We can do it. Well, I'll tell you what, God is worthy of praise. And let's thank the Lord for what he's done. For all the families, for all the children, for all the people in our program, for the staff. And like this would be awesome just to give him praise. Thank you. Thank you. And what exactly are we standing by for? What's happening in 20? Oh, okay. Oh, great.
Hey, my name's Ed Stetzer. I am not sitting on a bench for 24 hours. I'm actually the dean of the Talbot School of Theology, and I'm here in Boulder, Colorado. This is my hotel room. I left a meeting so I could be together. I really just want to, I mean, how are we not, like right now, I wish we could all just applaud to these CEOs who've been 24 hours on a bench. These conversations have been helpful, challenging, informative, and more, and it points us to some really beautiful realities. And one of those beautiful realities reminds us of the mission. Now, if you're a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus, you're sent on mission by Jesus. In John chapter 20, verse 21, it says, "As the Father has sent me," these are Jesus' words, "as the Father has sent me, even so I am sending you." Now, if you're not a Christian, by the way, all these CEOs and all the leadership here, we'd love you to receive by grace and through faith the good news of the gospel. But if you are a Christian, then you're sent on mission by Jesus. And we've seen the mission expressed beautifully in the last 24 hours. You see, when Jesus came, he said throughout the Gospel of John more than 40 times that God the Father had sent him. "I've been sent by the Father, for the Father sent me for this." And then at the end of the Gospel of John, he utters those words that I quoted, "As the Father has sent me, even so I am sending you." So that's to all Christians. All Christians are sent on mission by Jesus to join Jesus on his mission in the world. So what did Jesus come doing? Well, we can actually see, like just in the Gospel of Luke, it's in Luke chapter 4, verses 18 and following. Jesus says the Spirit, he reads from a scroll, which is a whole backstory there about what's going on, but he says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, he's anointed me to preach good news." And then he talks about the poor and the captive. And well, you know, Jesus came proclaiming the gospel. Jesus came serving the hurting. We see this. Jesus came serving the hurting. Well, that's what we've been seeing this conversation about the last 24 hours, right? I imagine those CEOs sitting on the bench, they're hurting themselves. But what a ministry to these Citygate Network, these missions around the country. They're serving the hurting in Jesus' name. And if you're a partner, if you're a follower of Jesus who's not yet a partner, man, one of the ways we get to do that is to in the way of Jesus, serve those who are without, those who are struggling, those who need some help, a path to be walked together with somebody, right? So Jesus came serving the hurting. Now, what you see throughout these last 24 hours too is Jesus came, same Jesus in Luke chapter 4, who's talking about the poor and serving the hurting. He came serving. Jesus also came saving the lost. One of the reasons that I love, when Tom DeVries, who's a good friend and leads the Citygate Network, when he asked me to do this, and even though I got to step away from a conference where I'm speaking, I'm like, of course I want to do this, because the Citygate Network has modeled for us this, well, sharing of the good news of the gospel, right? So Jesus came serving the hurting. He came saving the lost. That's not my words. That's Jesus' words, Luke 19:10. The Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. So if you're a follower of Jesus and you're sent on mission, well, sometimes you do. We're all called to live sent. Sometimes these CEOs are doing it on a bench. They're living out God's call for them and inviting you to join with them. Now, we can join in different ways, right? Some of us give, some of us volunteer and serve, some of us staff. And by the way, let me also say, too, this has been a significant burden on staff across these missions in the Citygate networks. But all that to say is that if we have this call of Jesus, as the Father has sent me, even so send I you, then we want to partner with Jesus in his mission. Now, you can't do everything. Now, you personally, I'm going to say, Christian, you personally, you're sent on mission. That's what Jesus said, right? This is not just the apostles or some group of pastors. You're sent on mission. And you're sent on mission to your friends, to your family, to your coworkers, to your neighbors. And so I want you to respond like Isaiah did to God's holiness. He said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And so there's lots of ways you can do that related to the Citygate network, right? So and let me just tell you, as like an outsider, I'm not like on the staff or anything of that sort. I really believe in these men and women and the leadership that they're providing. I'm guessing you do as well, or else you wouldn't have been watching this conversation all across it. In fact, if you don't mind, kind of we're getting near the end. There's still time for you to like and share, because when you like and share, it actually draws other people's attention to this. And I'd love for them to hear, and I hope you'd love for them to hear the good work of the Citygate Network. Just take a moment and like and share. It's one way that you can actually participate. But again, back to this theme. So if you're sent on mission by Jesus into the world, then that mission we've already seen is serving the hurting. We call that gospel demonstration. It's saving the lost. We call that gospel proclamation. So that's part of your responsibility as a Christian, right? So you're looking for opportunities for gospel demonstration, doing good in the name of Jesus. They might see our good works and give glory to our Father who's in heaven. We can do that in, through, and beyond our church. We can do that through partnering with Citygate Network Missions. We can also do that through giving. I mean, generosity is a beautiful picture of that as well. So Jesus came, right? We're joining him on mission. But I want you to hear, if there's one thing I want you to take away in my just concluding remarks, and we'll hear again from Tom in just a moment, but I want you to hear that Jesus has sent his people on mission. And there are few places that are as clearly articulated in the pages of Scripture as things that like Citygate Network Missions do, right? And there are others, but this is a beautiful picture. So, but again, and the thing that brings me confidence is Citygate Network for decades upon decades upon decades have one mission with two big expressions to that mission: gospel proclamation and gospel demonstration, and gospel proclamation. And those shouldn't be separate things. Those are together under one mission. So my exhortation to you is simple. First, thank you to our CEOs and those conversations on the bench. Thank you to the leadership of the Citygate Network, the leadership of all these missions as well. Thank you for showing and sharing the love of Jesus, right? If it's gospel proclamation and demonstration, it's showing and sharing the love of Jesus. Well, what a joy it is to partner and just to share. Thank you to the Citygate Network, and thank you for those of you who've been listening. Again, like and share so we get the word out, and may the name and fame of Jesus be more widely known because of your ongoing work at the Citygate Network. We appreciate you.
Period of time, who would imagine what this experience was going to be, how many conversations there were going to be on a bench. And I think what impressed me too was the number of conversations between CEOs, and how cool it was to be able to see each of you talking with each other. 93 at least different conversations, CEO to CEO, mission to mission, ministry to ministry. Thank you so much for your willingness to kind of take a flyer on something that we didn't know exactly what was going to be the result. But as we stand at the end of this 24-hour period of time, we really know that it's had an impact. Hearing from you, a significant impact as you've been able to raise awareness with regard to homelessness and addiction recovery and mental health, as you've been able to share and show the love of Christ in very tangible ways and how significant that is. As we bring to conclusion this time, I just want to say thank you. Thank you especially to Matt and behind me, the Fresno Mission team, for being incredible hosts for us during this event. We could not have done it without their leadership, without their support, and without their help. So thank you so very much, Matt and Fresno Mission team. Want to say thanks too to the Citygate Network team, and who many of you slogged through all 24 hours providing Zoom rooms and making sure that we had videos and conversations as we needed them on the national feed, and being able to help in navigating with Louder and providing you the resources that you needed to have an effective conversation on the bench experience. To you CEOs, we just love and appreciate you. Thanks for being willing to do something that many of you didn't know what you were saying yes to. Probably your development people did, but you didn't. And thanks so much for sitting on those benches, having those conversations, and sharing your heart, getting a glimpse at really your leadership that was humble and caring and willing to really put into put into action what it is that you do as a leader at your mission. And then tech crew and leaders, thank you. We know that this is tech intensive and incredibly challenging. And thank you for all the work in the months leading up to this, for all of the anxiety that you bore in the midst of it, and how significant it was to be able to stand here now at the end of our time and really give glory to God for an incredible event. We also want to say thanks to the mission staff and so many of you that helped do everything from put up tents to place benches to make sure that coffee was filled up to just enjoying the time of being part of the team. And we're grateful for all of those mission staffs. And then we want to say thanks to our guests, many of whom really are not faith-based in what they do or why they do it. But you had the opportunity on a bench to be able to share your heart of why you're engaged, and many of you partner with a Citygate Network ministry, a local mission that is committed to help bring hope and healing to the people in your city or in your town or in your community. As we close out, I just want to share from 1 John chapter 3. And we read these words. It says, this is how we've come to understand and experience love. Christ sacrificed his life for us. This is why we ought to live sacrificially for others and not just be out for ourselves. If you see some brother or sister in need and have the means to do something about it, but turn a cold shoulder and do nothing, what happens to God's love? It disappears. And you made it disappear. My dear children, let's not talk about love. Let's practice real love. As we move from conversations, we really move to action. And I love being a movement of God that not only talks about loving people, but we show it and we share it and we do it through our actions. And thanks for your courage in being willing to do that. And as we close together, thanks for this 24-hour period. I think that brought awareness, not just to Citygate Network and not even to your mission and the significant things you're doing, but truly to the name of Jesus Christ and how we're committed together to show Christ's love through our faith. Let's pray, shall we? God, we thank you for your goodness and for your grace. We thank you that we can gather across the country as people of faith, as leaders in ministry, as those that are part of movement that do reach out to the hurting and to those who need to know of your love in a tangible way. We pray for those that are part of our programs that are working through addiction recovery. God, we know that healing can come through the name of Jesus Christ and the power of the gospel, that we join together as a movement of faith-filled leaders who are committed to really bring to an end the suffering that we see in the people that we serve. And so thank you for this opportunity to be able to declare our faith in you, our love for others, and our desire to bring honor and glory to God in all we do. And so bless the conversations that were had, the seeds that were sown. We pray that they would come to fruition. We pray that there would be next steps that would be honoring to you, and that they would really bring community, that we are able to link arms in being able to love and serve in Jesus' name. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your provision. And thank you that we can be people of purpose who want to bring honor and glory to you. These things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. It's great to be able to have the end of this. I'm now going to kick it to our local sites for a final word from our CEOs there.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We appreciate all that you've done over these last 24 hours to be a part of this event. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to Derek and his team. Be blessed.